showing us how the best of the best do it. And not on a sexy pick either. This is set mid lane, a nerfed set. People won't even take this champion top or jungle that often because of the nerfs, but Troy taking it mid, running what I believe to be full tenacity, and absolutely hard countering the double AP that York pulled out in their mid 2v2.
The thing is, set is still actually a staple pick by LCK teams. We saw BDD still play the set mid. We see even some LPL teams are still playing it at Worlds.
Yeah, but mid mostly, right?
Yeah, mostly mid. So it's nice to see that Troy and Miami as a whole are pulling out the set mid here.
Yeah, it just makes them such a dangerous team to prep against. I'm in admiration of their just dedication to the game, their adaptability, their willingness to practice different styles. Oh, what a hook.
Wild Growth, not going to be able to do much. This
Big
might
taunt.
just be the kills here. Ultimate from Samira is actually doing so much damage even though she's not being able to move her champion around. Triple kill coming in for Samira. This might be the quadra kill. Quadra kill on Samira, looking for the penta, going after Laser King. Is this the penta kill?
Penta kill!
And here we have it in the game 3 of Miami versus York University. IBN on the Samira is going to find the penta kill here to end the series.
A penta kill to get Miami in the money. That's going to be the game to advance them into the finals. The Nexus turrets will drop. That's going to be game over. Decisive victory. Miami, they do it all. It doesn't matter the champion, the style, the draft, the situation, the gold lead, the gold deficit. They find a way every time. Their macro is proper. Their Troy is huge. And they might just pick people out of the fountain here. Why not?
And they're just playing with their food. They're patting KDA. And are they going to end the game, or are they just
They just walk away.
Oh, my.
They still win this and end, though.
Oh, here comes Miami Big D with the Crowstorm looking for more kills. Luigi Mesh is running for his life. And the fear coming through. Probably the Wild Growth onto the Caitlyn to keep her alive, but she is just getting deleted for the whole squad of Miami University. They don't even have their Samira. And another kill. Lucin's going to find the kill. A second AD carry of the team. Finds the kill onto the Galio. Renekton finds the Ruthless Predator stun onto Miami Big D, but he's going to flash out. The tank set finally goes down. Shutdown for Caitlyn. But you know what? Miami just shut down York University.
And that's because it's playoffs. But wait, they're already in pick ban. I distracted you.
Oh, man.
I distracted you from this Quinn Fiddlesticks. They must be trolling us.
I mean, it's Miami. They're up 2-0. They're just limit testing at this point, right?
Yes, they are.
I mean, hold on. Maybe it's not too troll. Hold on.
No, like...
Because the Quinn is a really strong counter matchup into the Renekton. It's probably why they picked it.
No, definitely. And it's a Chinese pro thing that we've seen Bin and Zoom do. So when Renekton gets first pick, they're practicing. Can Lucent really abuse a really great Renekton player? Because we know that chicken delivery is exactly that. And we saw that Samira getting locked in response to a Caitlyn pick. The Lulu comes in for a Luros. We've seen that multiple times. Answered by a Blitzcrank. So Samira, Blitzcrank. Do you have any experience with Samira? What are your thoughts on the champion going into this game?
Well, I know Samira, depending on how early they drafted it. Well, actually, no, I take that back.
I think it was 4.
One thing I've noticed when I was playing in competitive with the Samira pick is that she hard counters Ornn. Like you cannot play Ornn into Samira.
Yeah.
Because you will never get an engage off. Projectiles, right. And I know that Samira's passive is, I don't know exactly how it works, but apparently she works off of other people's CC. If someone gets CC, she knocks them up with her passive or something. I don't know what specifically. I haven't played the champion myself quite yet,
right? Except
for one jungle Samira game where I hard fed. But we don't talk about that.
And on top of Samira, I think it needs one more nerf. I think it's actually getting one. And this is game 3 of day 1, round 1 of the League Saturday Series playoffs, where the winner of this series is in the money. Keck, this is a money game for Miami.
And they're looking for a cheesy invade. Unfortunately, Laser King is ready for this. Drops the ward in the tri-bush, sees that they're trying to go for this cheesy invade. Unfortunately, Blitzcrank won't find anybody.
You know what I haven't seen out of Miami, and we've seen almost everything out of this team? Level 1 late invade on the red buff. The enemy red buff, when you are this red side here. We see a lot of pro teams do it. They draft things like Lilia, who can go kill Raptors, get level 2, and then win the fight. But even if you don't have a Lilia, say you have a Nidalee or Graves or something, you can still late invade that red buff. And it's another split map type situation like we saw in Game 1. I have yet to see Miami late invade that red buff. So something to look out for in the future. I wonder if that's in their wheelhouse. I'm sure it is. But we got some Bush hook.
Some cheese shenanigans. Cleave with the great blitzcrank pull. But forces the flash onto Ayla Rose.
And actually, not a necessary flash whatsoever. That's pretty much the brunt of their combos, getting yanked into the Samira. I think if you just run away, you get maybe one more Samira auto, maybe an auto Q or something, but you'd be able to regen there. So wasted flash by Laros there. Just got completely bamboozled and spooked.
Yeah, really crazy. Just blitzcrank cheese, blitzcrank shenanigans. That's just how you gotta play it. Oh, and the level 2 advantage coming in from Luigi Mesh in a pause.
Troy said, bug, I don't get hit by anything. Miami University, they're digging so deep into their champion pools. This is like maybe plan like J for them, these 5 champions. And we'll have to see if they can pull out a dub here as Galio able to stand up to the set, but...
And it would seem like Troy 1 is finally going to accept the fact that he did just get level 2'd on. That's why he got engaged on, so no bug there.
And I sort of dislike the Evelyn pathing. She's pathing top to bot, right? And Fiddlestick's first on the map.
We see a gank bot lane, but the bot lane from Miami is not level 2 yet. And so Fiddlesticks is just going to have to walk away.
So Fiddle did his full blue side into bot gank, and Evelyn did her full blue side into her red side now. So Evelyn will come out ahead in farm, and Fiddle's looking for another visit.
And looking at this mid lane right now, unfortunately, it's going to get... Galio's got that 6th sense, so he's going to dodge that gank here.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a transition gank. He's now going to go into his own red side, and Evelyn first to full clear. She should be able to get that bot crab, and maybe could give a look to the bot lane. The only thing is, your Evelyn is pathing top to bot into your Kate Lulu lane when you could be pathing bot to top into the Renekton lane. Evelyn needs to be with the Renekton. You can't itemize against this. If you buy Mercs, Renekton's gonna eat you. If you buy Tabbies, you're gonna get chain CC'd for too long, you're gonna die. This Evelyn Renekton duo can abuse Lucent's Quinn, even with cleanse. I need to see activity from Evelyn with her Renekton, but for now, she's gonna go for this bot crab, which she's perfectly happy to full clear in a bot crab. Don't get me wrong. And she is ahead in farm, and we'll be able to 2v2 here if that is the case.
Oh, and Luigi Mesh is going to actually use the Justice Punch into Troy 1. And because he gets feared, he's unable to flash out. Great first blood secure going over to Miami University.
Yeah, man, I'm a big D with the flash fear. There's no counterplay, and Set doing a great job holding his W that whole time. Waiting for the fear guarantees the W, and that's how you 2v2. It's unwinnable for the Evelyn Galio, especially since Evelyn was a bit late. Because of the reliability of just clicking on someone, they are now feared. Guarantees the W. Great job by Miami.
And here we see Chicken Delivery on this Renekton looking to be aggressive, but because Quinn just can counter and just use the vaults every single time Renekton tries to be aggressive, he can't stick to the Quinn. This is why Quinn is an answer into Renekton.
Yeah, and I don't play either of these champions top, so I'm not really sure exactly how this matchup goes. But we do see 2v2 top and a 1v1 in the mid. Evelyn is with the Renekton and possibly tower diving, but Mayama Big D is there to look. Here's the 2v2.
And he's just going to take some Q damage from the Evelyn, but he doesn't care. He's sucking Krugs, getting himself some HP.
And there's no better time to be taking Krugs, am I right? Evelyn's looking to go in Tri-Brush. Maybe I'll counter jungle Krugs while you stack a wave, and then we'll die. But Fiddle's already there. Oh.
And there's looking like another 1v1 here in the mid lane. And Troy 1 flashes forward, probably not necessary, but the second Q from his passive is going to be enough damage to finish off the Galio.
Luigi Mesh. Dancing with the devil with that.
Oh, but here comes the Renekton. He's going to use the showstopper, bringing Renekton back into the turret, but he still has the level 6 advantage. I don't know if Chicken Delivery wants to fight this. Remember, Troy 1 has the Haymaker. Go back, Director Tool, please. And Renekton's going to flash forward. He gets the kill, gets level 6.
Chicken Delivery wins the melee duel. The brawlers in the mid lane did not even have ultimate, but that's probably why Troy took the fight. It looked to me like with fleet footwork and Ghost, Troy was going to be able to kite in and out of the Renekton and win that.
And another thing is the bot lane of York University are just too far up without vision. There's a pink ward in that river bush, and Laser King, unfortunately, is going to get taken down here. Blitzcrank hook onto the flashless Lulu. Great kills going over to Miami University. Good tracking of the timers. Ayla's flash was not up for a good 10 seconds there.
And this Fiddle has, as we see the replay here, so Renekton wins that fight, but you're crashing the bot wave. So York University needs to kill this wave and get it in. This is their most vulnerable time. If Blitzcrank decides to set them up for a gank, it's the time window. So we see Fiddle is in the blue quadrant in this replay. Oh, the minimap is not synced to the replay. But yeah, if you're looking to crash the wave, you need to be aware of jungle ganks. And I think if a Fiddle can gank you pre-6, you are making major awareness errors because his lack of tools. He was flashless. It was the Blitzcrank flash setting up a walk up to you, silence, fear you. That gank is not potent enough to get most really high-level bot lanes that are extremely aware of what's going on in the game.
Especially since the Lulu is flashless. She needs to be respectful of that engage. And now, here we go, like Zerking is also himself is going to be losing his flash as well. So this is just another lane that Fiddlesticks is going to look to constantly engage himself onto. And here we look, looking for more cheese. Blitzcrank is going to use the Hex Flash. He Hex Flashes into the bush so that they can't see him. Runs right at Caitlyn, going for the knockup, but Caitlyn here's with using her range, finding a lot of damage. And here, looking at the mid lane, Troy 1 is looking for an engage onto Luigi Mash. Luigi Mash uses the taunt, the force, and slow Troy 1, preventing damage from coming through. But there's just aggression in the mid and bot lane. There's an aggression all over the map. In here, like you said in Champ Select, Evelynn is now on that top side. They're looking to make that 2v2 play onto Lucent. Lucent doesn't have cleanse. And so here comes the stun. Okay. Lucent's going to have to force the flash to get out.
His cleanse was down. If that charm hits, he dies 1,000%. So
right.
Now he's cleanseless and flashless. You need to come back, Flare Pyre. You need sack everything else. What's most important is denying Quinn of minions, getting plates, getting Renekton a kill would be great. Getting Herald. Just commit to the top side.
Oh, and Troy 1 is going to pull in the Galio, looking for more damage here. Hex Slash again from Cleave. Gets the hook onto Lulu, but Lulu has flash this time. Does she need to use it? She's going to burn it. But lots of damage. The Samira ultimate doing massive damage as well. Fiddlesticks with the Crow Storm going in. Silences and is draining the kill onto Lulu, but pops the stopwatch. Will he be able to get out if Blitzcrank walks up there and
he did. Blitz went and took aggro. Look at his health.
Very well played from Miami here to turret dive that. Oh, and like we see here in that interaction, even though Quinn did use the vault, the stun was still able to go off. Mid lane, more action as well. Troy 1 taking some damage onto Luigi Mash, but unfortunately, here comes Evelynn.
He has Merc Treads. He does not care about these two, and that's why Set is so good here. You're in a double AP, you rush Merc Treads. He already has a Null Magic Mantle on top of it. He's not afraid of that Evelynn whatsoever.
And that's just the power of Set mid, especially into a team that drafted double jungle mid AP.
Exactly, so don't gank your AP lane. Use your Galio to go somewhere else. Exactly. Fight somebody who can't afford to buy Merc Treads, like Quinn.
And so here we see it looking like Galio is looking to make a play up in the top lane. Ultimate is up. Set is resetting right now, but if he walks through here, oh, he's just going for a river bush. They see that the Set has chosen to go for the reset.
Fiddle's going to get his red, get Krugs, and then have a presence in top lane while
Chicken Delivery using the Cutlass to deny the Lucent recall, but he's going to use the Ruthless Predator and stun a minion.
Yep, you know, when you're an angry crocodile, sometimes you just want to stun something, and you can't ever get your hands on Quinn, so take your anger out on the minion.
Oh, but here's Mayama Big T. He's up here in the top lane. They know that he burnt the Cutlass. He's going to have to force the dominance early to give himself some extra rage, but the Crow Storm comes through. Fear into the knockback. Chicken Delivery has no way to outplay this.
And Mayama Big D is walking up to people and channeling Crow Storm right in front of them while they have no way to get out. It's kind of sad. Yeah, Chicken Delivery flashless there. And we saw him greed for that push. It's such an awkward lane state. Oh,
and here we see some bot lane action. Troy 1 as well here. He's going to pop the Showstopper, gets the knock onto Laser King. The ultimate from the Wild Growth is not going to do anything to keep Laser King alive, but Flare Pass able to get the return kill onto IBN's Samira here. So 1-for-1 in the bot lane, even though the jungler was committed to the top side. But Galio Luigi Mash just didn't seem to move.
And in hindsight, as the observer, a Polymorph...
Oh, and a Cleave gets a hook onto Flare Pie here. Polymorph coming in from the Lulu, but the tenacity from Set. The Polymorph means nothing. Flash coming through to dodge the Galio Justice Punch.
No respect for Cleave's hook.
And he's just running right back at Luigi Mash. Here comes the Caitlyn ultimate. He's going to have to pop the Haymaker to give himself the shield to mitigate the damage.
Lots of misplays here in the bot lane for York University. That's all I'm going to say, which is easy for us to say. We have full information, full vision. We're not in the heat of the moment, and we're not getting pressured by this Miami team, but that was just...
Our first match of the day will be our consolation match between York University Esports and Kent State University Esports.
And has done really good on that champion. So when York University lock in Set early, it means a lot for the success of their loaded onto the rift for Games 3 between Kent State University and Bar Esports in our best of 5. Horn is up in 4 with TP, so Miami's still comfortable enough to start this Drake. They need
and here, like I said again, Cassiopeia out by herself. Just
Can he?
right, just going in. And here comes the Pop Blossom. Alistar's going to save the enemy.
Wait a second. Double TP. Everybody's showing up to this Drake fight. This is huge. Eyes on Lucian Karthus here. Horn ulti coming. It goes over to red team.
Not going to be able to do much. This
Big
might
taunt.
just be the kills here. Ultimate from Samira is actually doing so much damage, even though she's not being able to move her champion around. Triple kill coming in for Samira. This might be the quadra kill. Quadra kill on Samira, looking for the penta. Going after Laser King. Is this the penta kill?
Penta kill!
And here we have it in the game 3 of Miami versus...
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to League Saturday Series. I'm your host, Holy Boxers, here as always at 1Life2Play Gaming and Esports Lounge. We are on day 2 of qualifiers. We have 2 more days left after today for teams to qualify. We're really excited to jump into it today. I know there are some teams that we want you to be looking out for today. So we have What's the Water, Mad City, who were our qualifiers last week. So if they come back to play today, remember, they have a bounty on their head. So these teams need to knock them out to get a bounty on their head. We also have Tempest, Cleveland State University Esports, UST, and Koibi. So those are some of the top teams to be looking out for today as we jump into qualifiers. Now, just to remind you guys, if the team qualifies today, knocks Mad City out of their first place spot, they win $25 and then they have a bounty placed on their head. The qualifying team will also win a Monster Energy Prize Pack, Winter LSS t-shirts, which you can find on our shop if you don't qualify. And again, they have qualified for LSS Season 2. Now, I don't know if anybody knows this. If anybody hasn't been on our shop recently, we are having a Black Friday sale that goes from now until December 11th. 30% off of all our amazing apparel, including those LSS winter shirts, which I know I'm going to be getting one for myself. And also 15% off all hardware. So that's at 1life2play.com/shop. You can also see all of our information about LSS on our website, 1life2play.com/LSS. Now, this is our information for League Saturday Series, so you can see that we do have 4 weeks of qualifiers before we start our regular season play. Now, I know that everybody is kind of really excited to get right into this. I know some of our teams are still checking in, but guys, Diddy and Trifolge, why don't you guys take it away and talk some shop?
Thank you very much to our wonderful host, Holy Boxers. I'm Diddy.
And I'm Trifolge.
And I cannot wait to kick off week 2 of these qualifiers here and see who will be our team to advance into the LSS and win those awesome prizes. I didn't know they all get t-shirts. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, I am excited. First off, the t-shirts are awesome. We have seen them on stream. I think we can pull them up really quick, potentially, to show them off. But, yeah. Okay, yeah, we're going to get a look at those right here. Man, take a look at that. A nice festive winter LSS shirt.
That's a cop.
Oh, yeah, that is a cop. I mean, if you're looking for some new drib, this is where you need to get it at.
Exactly.
1life2play.com/shop. Like Holy Boxer said, we do have the Black Friday sale, 30% off all of our apparel and 15% off hardware. Make sure you guys check that out. It's going to be pretty awesome.
You guys have any of the champion stuff on there right now?
Oh, yeah.
on
Yeah.
sale.
Oh yeah, we got the nice stuff. We got good quality shirts, good quality hoodies. We've got hats, anything.
Anything you need?
Yeah, we got some. You know, the one thing we don't have is shoes, but
Shoes.
maybe we'll get some shoes in the future. Who knows? I don't know.
That'd be
But yeah, so while we're waiting on these teams, I guess we could talk a little bit about where the meta is at and kind of like what we're expecting to see from some of these teams. We did see that the Mad City is back again this week. So like Holy Boxer said, they do have a bounty. Do we think we're going to see a team take away the bounty?
I think Mad City did look really good last week, but we do have some new teams in that look relatively high elo on paper. I saw some high diamond players. We even might have a challenger player depending on if that team locks in, and that'll be some tough competition for Mad City. But I think it would be really hype if they held it down, took the bounty money, and won it again. That would be like
That would be cool. Like you said, though, there are some. Looks like the turnout this week. There is some pretty intimidating teams on the roster,
right.
And man, for Mad City, that's you have big shoes to fill coming back this week after last week. You know, if we're being honest, it did seem like last week they were playing with their food a little bit towards the end of the final game there that qualified them for the LSS.
Yeah,
but I don't think we're going to see that kind of stuff going on. Like you said, we potentially do see a challenger player on one of the rosters today, as well as I saw some master level players as well.
A new challenger approaches.
Oh yeah.
Ring the bells. And one thing you need to think of here in this formatting is it's best of one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a new season with a new patch this week. So there's a lot that, you know, these teams, if they come out with strategies that are novel and that can't be prepared for by higher elo teams, there could easily be upsets this week here. And I think that's what makes it so exciting going into this tournament here. We have no idea who's going to win just by looking at it on paper because of that shakeup.
Because you never know. There might be that something that slips in that just does so much for a team that, you know, the skill discrepancy isn't going to be that big of an impact for the players. So we'll see about that. But I'm wondering, like, as we go in, are we going to see, you know, like, we're seeing a team return who won. Are we going to see the teams who maybe get bounties today come back? I'm really curious to see. You know, I think last week we had 4 teams. This week we have 13 with some teams that are pending. I'm not sure if they checked in with full rosters or not, but it's exciting to see that hopefully next week, the rosters for teams will be even bigger, and that's going to be exciting as well.
Definitely, and I'm hoping as the weeks go on, the competition just gets higher and higher and higher. We're starting to see some higher elo players here in these qualifiers. How high of an elo team can we get in here?
Yeah.
And can we get a team from these qualifiers that can end up challenging our former champions in Miami or some of the top tier teams that we can't forget to mention, like Kent State, York University, and so on, and maybe Bar Esports if they come back.
Yeah, and like what you're saying about the previous teams, for anybody who's watching who doesn't know, the top 4 teams from LSS Season 1 were sent invitations to return to LSS Season 2 with the top 4 seeds. We're not too sure on which teams are going to accept the invitation and return, but if we do see teams like Miami, Bar, Kent coming back, then, you know, what is that competition going to look like when you're throwing in these teams that have potential challenger players? You know, it seems like maybe in Season 2, qualifiers was the right way to go, and we're going to take the notch up when it comes to like the competition between the 8 teams who make it in, rather than you know, and this is no offense to any of the other teams we had previously, but you know, some of the teams that we had come in, we did have large skill discrepancies. We had young amateur teams, and then like veteran collegiate teams who play together for a long time, and when you get those two together, you know, it's hard to really see what level of skill someone like Miami can bring when their competition is not up to par with them. So I think doing these qualifiers is really going to bring up the bar one more notch for competitiveness during this season. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, and it'll be a big shakeup from last season. At the beginning of last season, we had a lot of matchups that were high diamond university teams, like you were saying, going up against teams of maybe gold average, plat average.
Yeah.
And simply put, it's just the games suffer. The quality of games can suffer from
Yeah.
that big of a gap. If it's a whole division, then the game probably won't look too good. But with these qualifiers, we see teams with rank averages similar to our top 4 advancing in the first week in Mad City.
Yeah.
Now, and if we can keep that pace up, our bottom 4 teams or our new invitees will be of the same caliber as the top 4. Now you have this domestic competition that can produce, like, some of the highest level gameplay that you can see around other than other amateur organization play.
Yeah, and what's exciting about that is you're kind of talking about, like, the discrepancy, the quality of games will go down, but at the same time, when we're looking at these rosters on Battlefy, which is what we're using, if you guys want to join, head over to battlefy.com/LSS. Do we, Perp? Battlefy.com/ Just search LSS on Battlefy. You guys will find us. I guarantee we're the only ones. Trust me. You guys can join up for qualifiers week 3 and 4 if you guys are interested for your chance. But what the point I wanted to make was with Battlefy and having random teams signing up, we don't have it so strict on the fact of, like, smurfing. So when we see teams, I've seen some teams sign up with silver, gold level players. We don't know if that is their true ranks or if they're on smurf accounts. As we get into Season 2, we will do our due diligence on our end to kind of sift through accounts. Teams have to submit rosters for their week. Smurfing is not allowed, so we can go through, and there are ways for us to tell if an account is a smurf account or not. And then, once we start into Season 2, we'll have a better idea on the rank discrepancies between the teams. But I don't think that Battlefy is necessarily the most reliable source for us to be looking at to say, okay, this team is just way better than this team, because we don't know how truthful those rosters through Battlefy are.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Is you can't ever look at 2 teams on paper and clearly predict a winner. Obviously, there's a lot of variance in the game, but I think with there being no rank cap in our league, there is really no reason to smurf, in my opinion. Why would you sign up lower rank accounts?
My only thought is teams trying to hide, like, what their picks are, things like that. You never know. Like,
that happens.
When you're coming to, like, online events, everyone's competitive. They want to get whatever competitive edge they can without breaking the rules. And when you're talking about joining on a tournament on a Battlefy, you just sign up with your, 1 elo lower account, and that's what you play on, because you're not going to be able to see all your match history and whatnot. So can't blame the teams, but like we said, once we get into the start of the regular season, those things will become much more strict on our end, and we'll be checking on those things to try and make sure everything is legit and balanced, and that teams can scout their opponents.
Right, and if there were to happen to be, like, a huge upset in terms of the rank of the players overperforming this week, is that something that would raise a red flag for us now? Imagine a gold average team just winning it out.
Like, wins out against the challenger team. Yeah, that is when that does raise red flags. But, like we said, like, with that in mind, then we'll know, going on from there. So we do have our teams ready. So I just need to take 1 second, get our tournament code here and get into lobby, and then we will be hopping into Champ Select. And man, I'm pumped. This is going to be exciting. I'm ready for some good games of League of Legends. Okay, yeah, we're going to head to a quick, maybe 5-minute break as we get into lobby, and then we'll be back once Champ Select is started, so don't go anywhere.
Don't move. Not properly played, and Miami up 5K.
Yep.
And I think Evelyn needs to use Drake. So Miami wants Drakes, right? Miami always gets Drakes. Okay. Give up Drake. When Drake goes down, you better be on the top half of the map and go kill Quinn.
Right, because Renekton is your shining point. This is the champion that you want to get you through that early mid game. The champion that gets you to that late game team fighting, so you can use the Lulu to power up your carries.
And we see how Quinn hasn't committed to Tier 2 boots. She can't go Tabbies or Mercs yet. I know she wants to rush her item, but it's because you have AD AP top. It has to happen. It has to be the Renekton. There is no other option.
Right.
But Troy, he understands this too.
Oh, and unfortunate for Flare Pie there. They just randomly found him in the jungle. That's just unfortunate for him. And here goes the Crowstorm. Finds the suppress and the ultimate from Troy 1 onto the Galio. They're just running around the map killing people now.
They are just running around the map, killing people. Keck, you nailed it on the head. That analysis is absolute fire.
Thank you. Thank you, Diddy.
I'm serious. Spot on with that analysis. And we see bounties on the top half. The half of the map that's supposed to be strong when you draft Renekton. Evelyn is just behind, and this Quinn pick is working out like a charm. Has flash, has cleanse, not going to be easy to kill. Cleave is just target practice here in bot lane. And Flare Pyre trying to, what is it called? Salvage this lane. And I'm not sure if that's the right play.
Oh, and the Blitz Plank hole onto the Lulu. Again, forcing her flash.
Go in, Samira,
Here
go
comes
crazy.
Samira, popping the ultimate, looking for a return kill. Galio teleporting down into this bot lane to stop Troy's roam. But Troy 1, maybe he's biting up more than he could. Haymaker does so much damage. He is now on a killing spree. And now IBN is going deep for the Caitlyn kill. And Galio's trying to get a return kill onto Troy 1 as well. But Samira does so much damage. The taunt shut down. Double kill going over to Luigi Mash on this Galio here.
Luigi Mash, more like Luigi Bash for the double kill with the Galio passive auto. Great job, good punish, good being on the map by Galio. Great job here. We see this skirmish where
Oh, but AD carry forgot that there was a Fiddlesticks in the game.
Bien goes a bit deep here, right, on Samira. Naturally, as a champion, kind of has to go in to give value, but puts her in between Galio and the tower and Lulu. And they're able to win out in that situation.
And here comes Lucen going for the tower dive onto Renekton. But even with the cleanse to get out of the stun, he's still going to die to the tower.
So you saw he E's. He gets the W on the E. I think if he insta-cleanses it, he could maybe run out of there. I think that was a bit slow, but man, my Big E is just eating.
Oh, and again, the team of Miami are just walking into the jungle, and they find Flare Pie. Unfortunately for him, the Galio is not fast enough. And they're trying to steal away the red buff, but the team of York doesn't want to give it away for free. Oh, and the Crowstorm. Crowstorm finds no. Oh, but the Blitzcrank hook pulls the Caitlyn into the Crowstorm. Exhaust going on to Mayamo Big D here. It's going to be a shutdown going over to Laser King's Caitlyn. But here's Troy 1 looking for more damage, but he's going to walk straight into a trap.
I'll say it, Keck. I'm going to call him out.
And Laser King secures the red buff.
How? With what? Oh,
with
Q?
With the Peacemaker.
This was a disrespectful Crowstorm with no setup, and it gets punished. Great job, York University.
And now we look at here. Galio's a bit too far up. Justice Punch trying to get out. Hey, Showstopper's going to bring him back. Oh, and now we look at bot lane action. Evelyn getting a kill onto the Blitzcrank.
Bien.
But Samir's going in with the ultimate. Caitlyn's running away from
can do it
Lulu.
again.
Here comes the 1v3, but unfortunately not able to find the mark. But Aelira's double buff transfer complete.
And this is a Bloodthirster rush.
Oh, but here comes Lucence. Gets the kill onto Lulu. These double buffs are not going anywhere. They want to just, I mean, they're going everywhere.
This Fiesta style game, oh my god.
Oh, and here comes Big D with the Crowstorm onto the Renekton here. But he's under the dirt, forces the Dominus. He's running for his life. And Big D is just taunting him. But the Blade of the Ruin King comes through, stun coming as well. Oh, he's forcing the stopwatch. The Zonias. And he's still chasing down him. Here comes the silence. Troy 1 popping the ghost, running straight for chicken delivery. He's tanky, man. He doesn't care that there's a tower there. He flashes forward, goes for the pole, but unable to find the mark. Chicken delivery is going to be able to get out.
That's well played by Chicken Delivery there, and maybe an overstep to try to flash that for Troy when the Renekton, what's it called? Slash and dash? Reaping something? The caster's always calling it.
Slice and dice.
Slice and dice.
Slice and dice.
He still had the slice, so you can't flash on him. If he's quick enough, he will avoid it.
Right.
But Miami just Crowstorming on cooldown and invading jungle, finding looks. Lucent on Quinn loves this Fiesta-style game.
And Blitzcrank just loves to pull whoever he wants this game. Everyone is a good target for him to pull. And here comes Lucent going for an engage onto Caitlyn. So much damage from the lethality, but here comes the Wild Growth from Lulu. Blown up by Flare Pie and Laser King here. Big damage going down onto the Quinn, thinking she could really blow her up, but unfortunately she can't.
Another disrespectful look by Miami University without setup.
Oh,
gets
but here
punished.
comes the flash from Cleve. He looks for an engage. And here comes the Galio ultimate. Again, like you said, another disrespectful engage from Miami here.
And they could have been getting Infernal this whole time. So, a little bit of relaxing and maybe funsies from Miami.
Definitely looks like a solo queue game at this point.
Definitely does. Which is great for Quinn if she's not 1v3.
Oh, is Mayama Big D going to go for another one of those Crow Storms?
Is Mayama Big D going to go for a Crow Storm? Keck, just watch. He's doing it to
And
Dragon.
he Crow Storms the Dragon!
He's
gonna
just
get-
Crow Storming everything that looks at him wrong.
Oh my gosh.
He's getting his reps in, that's
Oh,
for
but
sure.
here's Lucent looking for another engage onto Caitlyn here. And Troy 1 looking to run down the team, but walks into a trap, unfortunately. This set is so fast. He has Ghost, he has his Q to speed up when he runs at a champion, he has Dead Man's Plate.
Oh, yeah.
This champion is incredibly fast.
But I will say, I think, this is where Set is probably his strongest. At the end of the day, the scaling of Set is you kind of just get a tank that can play make, which is great, but not the hardest scaling mid laner in the world. So you could even argue that Miami's comp falls off in comparison to the Kate Lulu scaling. There's no real hard tank to put up with the K crit, so I think if I'm sorry.
Oh, and Blitzcrank's gonna steal the blue buff? Oh no, but he was close.
I think Laser King can carry this game with crits, and there could be a chance of the comp of Miami falling off. I'm looking for ways back into the game for York University. I think scaling is one of them. I think Lulu and Galio are stronger team.
Oh,
fights.
here comes the Crow Storm onto Caitlyn. AD carried by herself.
Well, not anymore.
Oh, and the polymorph onto the Lucent here. Gonna deny some aggression. Blitzcrank going for a blind hook, hoping to find a target, but unable to find anything.
And Miami is actually going for kills instead of Herald here. They don't even care about Herald. Just gonna let it fade away and get
they're
eaten
just
by
padding
Baron.
they're just padding their stats. Here comes the Galio taunt, looking for an engage. Finds Mayama Big D. Blitzcrank hook finds Luigi Match, pulls him back into the team, but he's just so tanky. Oh, but here's Chicken Delivery. While the rest of his team is still under tier 2 turret mid, he is all the way out here in no man's land.
Face check.
Oh, face check from Flare Pie forces the Galio ultimate to keep him safe.
Big D has Crow Storm.
He does.
And he didn't instantly use it. I don't know what happened to his R button, if it's broken or something, but I would have expected him to use it by now.
Forgot. I know, right? He's a Karthus player. I feel like his R button is his most important button.
Right. Oh, they are looking. It won't be long before he Crow Storms nothing, I'm pretty sure.
It'll happen at some point.
This is the most Chinese-looking game I've seen from Miami University. And the Chinese League of Legends is... Oh, man.
And here comes another ultimate. Oh, man.
Yep, they're just choking Vision now and using Fiddle to get over each and every wall, just diving everyone. My point was going to be about pacing and how Miami is playing such a fast pace this game. It kind of looks like a Fiesta, but they know they just outplay, they win most situations. Troy, look at the Merc Treads. He's charmed for a half-second, Polymorph for a quarter of a second. He might have
Probably has
Resolve
Legend
Runes.
Tenacity.
He could have Unflinching. Is that the right
Yep,
rune?
Unflinching with Legend Tenacity, with Merc Treads. It's probably around 70% Tenacity.
Right, so that Charm doesn't last, the Polymorph doesn't last, and that set is just a beef tank. Pretty hard to stop with that double AP.
Especially since he's not even building that much MR. He just has Merc Treads. He just has a Spectra's Cowl. But most of his items are armor items.
Right. He will be the hardest target for Caitlyn to kill. And Fiddlesticks just one-shots Kate. It's really hard. I don't think you can even polymorph the Fiddle fast enough to save your Kate at this
No,
point.
you'd have to have QSS for yourself or Mikhail's to block the fear before you can cast your polymorph. Because if you're next to Kaylee when he crow storms in, you're going to get feared too.
And then you're both dead.
And then you're both dead. Precisely. Oh, and look at Galio. They're looking to dive him up there in the top lane. Let me see. Yep, here comes the teleport from Chicken Delivery to defer this dive.
You're TPing top, but Drake's up in 40. So there's your macro loss, I think.
Not to mention Quinn can just pop ult and just run down there.
Fiddle is setting up Drake. It's a 2-3 split. 2 members top here, Lucent and Troy.
And here we look at this. Mayama is looking for the Crow Storm, going mid lane. He gets the fear, he flashes forward. Flare Pie is going to get feared. Here comes the showstopper from Troy 1. He's deep in the back line, but look at Lucent. He's in the back looking for a secure kill onto Flare Pie. He gets the kill. Troy 1 is able to take down the Evelyn. And Luigi Mash trying to run for his life as well. But here's Renekton on the side. Pops the dominance. He's going deep. He looks for Samira. He gets the flash stun. She's CC'd for so long, but the Samira ultimate coming through. She's life stealing so much. Killing spree going over to Troy 1. And here comes IPN. He's going to use the combos, and he's going in deep.
IBN slashing, dashing, and slashing the York University comp on this Samira, making it look like he's gotten his practice in. And I'm watching Set just soak this CC like it is absolutely nothing. This tenacious Troy here, just soaking everything, making it so easy. You saw Quinn flanking into like a 1v3. It's usually not the best Quinn look, by the way, but it works here. And the Fiddle Crowstorm was kind of troll. He didn't get the fear because he wasn't coming out of proper Fog of War and had a flash to even get the damage on them. Silences them in Zanya, so not the most proper Fiddle ultimate, but it doesn't matter. The gold lead is too much.
And the Red Bull's man, a big D is like, no, that Red Bull's mine.
I mean, who's the carry here? He has a level on Troy.
It's true. Oh, and here comes Luigi Mash a little bit too far up again. And this is just Miami abusing these champions in the side lane.
Nice cleanse on the taunt. I think Galio needs to taunt her in the middle of her either, but I'm not even sure if that would have saved them at all.
No, Galio just shouldn't have been that far out. There's no turret to run back to, even if he were to get away.
Heck, we sound like a broken record. These guys should never be too far out against Miami, but they...
Oh, and here comes Seth. He's looking for a showstopper. He hits the showstopper onto Caitlyn. Laser King's going to be pulled into the Crowstorm from Miami Big D. Great execution coming in from Miami. And Renekton is just too far up. It's just in a bad spot as well. This is going to be Baron going over to Miami here.
The way we're acting is like they should just be sitting in base. They can't go anywhere. Miami is just always there, getting over the walls. Troy can just run through everything. He's an absolute monster. His third item is going to be a locket. What an absolute frontline unit, Troy here. And if this guy is an MVP, man, he's 3 games from Troy here. A Grandmasters player, by the way. Showing us how the best of the best do it. And not on a sexy pick either. This is Set mid lane, a nerfed Set. People won't even take this champion top or jungle that often because of the nerfs, but Troy taking it mid, running what I believe to be full tenacity, and absolutely hard countering the double AP that York pulled out in their mid 2v2.
The thing is, Set is still actually a stable pick by LCK teams. We saw BDD still play the Set mid. We see even some LPL teams are still playing it at Worlds.
Yeah, but mid mostly, right?
Yeah, mostly mid. So it's nice to see that Troy and Miami as a whole are pulling out the Set mid here.
Yeah, it just makes them such a dangerous team to prep against. I'm in admiration of their just dedication to the game, their adaptability, their willingness to practice different styles. Oh, what a hook.
Wild Growth, not going to be able to do much. This
Big
might
taunt.
just be the kills here. Ultimate from Samira is actually doing so much damage even though she's not being able to move her champion around. Triple kill coming in for Samira. This might be the quadra kill. Quadra kill on Samira, looking for the penta, going after Laser King. Is this the pentakill?
Pentakill!
And here we have it in the game 3 of Miami versus York University. IBN on the Samira is going to find the pentakill here to end the series.
A pentakill to get Miami in the money. That's going to be the game to advance them into the finals. The Nexus turrets will drop. That's going to be game over a decisive victory. Miami, they do it all. It doesn't matter the champion, the style, the draft, the situation, the goal lead, the goal deficit. They find a way every time. Their macro is proper. Their Troy is huge. And they might just pick people out of the fountain here. Why not?
And they're just playing with their food. They're patting KDA. And are they going to end the game, or are they just
They just walk away.
Oh, my.
They still win this and end, though.
Oh, here comes Miami Big D with the Crowstorm looking for more kills. Luigi Mesh is running for his life. And the fear coming through. Probably the wild growth onto the Caitlyn to keep her alive, but she is just getting deleted for the whole squad of Miami University. They don't even have their Samira. And another kill. Lucin's going to find the kill. Second AD carry of the team. Finds the kill onto the Galio. Renekton finds the Ruthless Predator stun onto Miami Big D, but he's going to flash out. The tank set finally goes down. Shutdown for Caitlyn. But you know what? Miami just shut down York University.
And that's because it's playoffs. But wait, they're already in pick ban. I distracted you.
Oh, man.
I distracted you from this Quinn Fiddlesticks. They must be trolling us.
I mean, it's Miami. They're up 2-0. They're just limit testing at this point, right?
Yes, they are.
I mean, hold on. Maybe it's not too troll. Hold on.
No, like
because the Quinn is a really strong counter matchup into the Renekton. It's probably why they picked it.
no, definitely, and that it's a Chinese pro thing that we've seen Bin and Zoom do. So when sorry about that brief delay, everybody, but welcome back to week 2 of the LSS Season 2 qualifiers. I'm Diddy,
And I'm Trifolge. Just to give you guys a quick update, if any of the future teams are watching right now, please do remember that we are going to be streaming the matches for LSS, even the qualifiers. That's why we're here right now, guys. You know, you see us here. So make sure that once you guys get your tournament codes and you're waiting to start your match, please wait for us to get in to spectate these games. We did send announcements out on Battlefy this week and last week, but both times it seems that teams are not receiving these messages and starting games ahead of time. So please do be sure that you guys are waiting for us so that we can get these games started on stream. And now we are making our way into Game 1 for Champ Select here.
I'm so excited for Champ Select Try, and I was gonna be devil's advocate here, but never mind. I just need to see this Champ Select here. Okay, so Try, the meta has shaken up. There's a pretty big patch, right, to kind of adjust. Remember last week we were talking about the Sunfire tanks and how that was kind of out of control.
We do see a set ban here.
Set coming in, ban number 1 for blue. They toned back a bit of the tank oppressiveness. I think there was a hotfix on the tank item itself. They also nerfed the Amumu W damage. As we see, Kale will drop. I was going to get to her in a second. Kale was nerfed as a champion, and also her entire core first 2 items were both nerfed. She still remains Giga OP, okay? So we see Kale immediately banned by red side. This is because blue side can just first pick it. Now they have a Kale. They can flex it into mid or top, and I've even seen Kale support just because it's kind of out of control.
Okay, guys, we will get this situated for next game, but it does look like there's a mistake on our overlay for Champ Select. We do have Finky Pinky Real Kinky on the red team, and we do have
Watts the Water
for the blue team. Our overlay did not update properly. Ignore the scores as well. We'll get that fixed after this game for you.
And Try, I want you to look at these red side bans. I think they are really beautiful red side bans. You have to take away the Kale, I think, in this meta. The Jin.
I've been seeing some Jin.
Jin is top dog.
Okay.
Jin is top dog. You have to get rid of him on red side. In the Kha'Zix ban, I would switch out for a Kayn ban. I think Kayn is the primero jungler right now. I think both of his forms are completely out of control. There's no doubt in my mind that.
Oh, and the Amumu, how is he right now?
He's still good, but I think at a high level, teams can deal with him now. They nerfed his W damage. They nerfed the item that he builds, and so I think he's more manageable. But high-level teams have to really exploit his only can go in nature and not group up for his ultimate, and I think they could do fine. And then a Lulu early would be pretty peculiar for red. Okay, so they'll
Morgana
go
a
ahead
little
and
better.
switch Morgana.
I'm wondering if we are going to see the grab for the Kayn here.
It depends on it.
Because they don't really need to now that they have a Mumu, right? So they don't.
Right, that's right. It could be a round 2 ban for Team Blue, though. So if you're Team Red, you want to maybe draft it third. This is if your jungler happens to play Kayn, right? Because Kayn hasn't been really competitively viable too much. Mostly
and he
because
has a unique playstyle as well.
Because he is so weak early, you can't really depend on skirmishing for scuttle crabs with him. That's his like giant weakness. Other than that, he's completely out of control as a champion.
Yeah.
Ooh, and I like this. Some spicy picks coming in for Watts the Water. They have a Lucian in here that can flex, as we know, 3 ways here. They're going to keep that Lucian flex open to top, mid, and AD if they lock in the support here. Bard, pretty good answer into Ezreal Morgana because you can't really kill the Ezreal Morgana lane, so what do? You leave the lane as Bard. You go make plays elsewhere. Or the Janna will come into. Janna, I think, is the premier enchanter nowadays.
Okay.
And so I've also seen some Namis pop off. Enchanters are
doing well.
They're doing well. It's just the tanky engage supports are still, I think, the meta, but we'll have to see.
How's Sunfire doing right now? Because that was a big issue with like tank. I saw memes like people were like building Jinx with Sunfire because like if you have tanks on you, you're getting that.
They hotfixed it.
Okay.
And there's been a patch to deal with some of the champions that were kind of abusing it, but it's still tanks are. I was gonna say in terms of top lane, I think tanks are still pretty premier, and we see a Maokai coming in early, hiding the jungler for Finky Binky, real kinky, as they go in and lock the Maokai as we go to ban. So,
Victor ban. I'm assuming Victor is still doing well. I saw some chitter chatter through some discords about Aurelion Sol being maybe a spicy pickup for competitive meta.
The number one reason for the Asol emerging would be they nerfed the main core mage items. So this is Luden's, and this is Liandry's, and there's maybe even Rocket Bell. I'm not sure. But those two getting nerfed means that the best item to rush in the mid lane could be Imperial Mandate, a support item that if you disable an enemy, so like slower CC, if anyone on your team deals damage to them, or I think if you deal damage to them, it's bonus damage every time.
So you're getting the Q stun into your W, and you're getting bonus.
That's right. And if you have a Rylai's second, you get it every single time.
Oh, because of the slow.
That's some, brand new technology.
That is dirty.
Yeah.
I might have to hop on some of that.
Yeah, no, you were a pretty good ASL player, weren't you?
Yep.
I love that Rayquaza skin, by the way. And then another notable change from last week to this week is last week I was going on and on about Rageblade and how OP and impressive it was. They completely pretty much took that out of the game. And we see the Kayn locked in here. This is really scary because Kayn, I think, can go both forms now. And so you have the possibility of blue. Like if Watts the Water lock in 2 range champs that can kite the red Kayn, he can just opt into blue and just one tap the range champs. It's pretty nutty.
Yeah, I've seen some clips of red Kayn just never dying, spinning around all over, just looking nasty.
But it's gonna. It looks to me more like a blue game. They're gonna avoid,
based off of their comp.
Yeah, they're gonna avoid things that are good into red Kayn because everybody knows you can't really kill that champion nowadays. So that would mean this Akali lock tells us Lucian could possibly be going top as well, and they could maybe lock their AD here.
I'm surprised we didn't. Ooh, what is that?
This could be a Zac top.
Could a Mumu be top as well, or
it could be a Mumu top.
This is spicy.
It's pretty spicy.
I like to see this for game 1.
But the Zac pick is a really good pick into red Kayn. Now you have 3 melee champions. You have a Mumu, Zac, and Akali is kind of half, right?
Yeah.
And so red and blue look pretty good for Kayn. And it will be a tank match up top. I think, this is something we will see pretty often today, at least in our bracket, is tank v tank in the top lane just because of, yes, they did take a look at the Sunfire, but it was not enough at the end of the day, and I think it will be a Zac
so
top.
we do see the swap there. It looks like it is going to be a Zac top.
I played Zac top this like the other day. Maybe
I like
even
Zac top. I played him a little bit. Like I feel like one meta he was randomly good for a little bit top, and I played him during that. Pretty fun to play.
And if you're tank v tank, you could go Conqueror and you win the tank matchup, and at the same time you still provide that tanky engage value. So similar concepts in the top lane in terms of champions. And we see the Amumu Kayn matchup. This is so season. This is so
like
season
season
11.
meta.
Yeah. This is sort of the premier meta.
I'm surprised to have seen blue side bans come out for Olaf and Mundo when red side had not picked their jungle yet. Because I
Yeah.
feel like in the meta that's going on right now, like, how is the state of the jungle?
It is like the power farming jungler. You're either a power farm jungler or a tank right now.
Yeah.
So you either are Kayn, Graves, Hecarim, or you have Sunfire, and that's your
And that's
identity,
pretty much all you got to do.
essentially.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And either
That
team's
sounds like
kind
my
of.
meta. Nice and easy.
So the Mundo jungle ban, it's a Mundo jungle ban in my opinion, because Mundo jungle is fine because of that item.
So they
The
were
Olaf-
banning out jungle there with those 2 picks.
Yeah,
But,
definitely. I think so. I've seen more Mundo jungle than top. I don't think he's very valuable top.
Okay.
The Olaf ban, I disagree with Chai. I agree with you, and that's a great point you made. I think that should have been a Kane ban, but
Yeah.
hey,
I'm excited to see this. I like the matchup here. The Malphite support is
that's
pretty
right. We missed
interesting.
that. Wait a second. So that Morgana
Yeah.
got flexed into mid lane with a Maokai lock, baiting in a top that they could maybe counterpick. But when they locked in Zac,
Mhm.
it was kind of like, where's Zac going? How do we counterpick it? Let's just go with Ornn.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's another good point you make there with the Morgana mid. Really safe pick in Akali, right? If you hit her with binding, you know where she is for 3 hours, and
Yeah.
she cannot escape. So that's a really good way to deal with that champion. And then finally, the Lucian will go into the bot lane for Team Blue, which is Watts the Water, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
yes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so really hard to keep track of these drafts, as we've seen with the new season item changes and complete meta shift.
I know.
Really
it's
hard
exciting to see, like I
Yeah,
said
it's-
last week, it's exciting to see these competitive, like, how is the competitive meta going to be shaped? Are these players, how seriously are they taking it? Where do we see the meta going from here? Because, like we said, this is still pretty early on. There's this, other than the, like, small Wi-Fi tournaments going on, there's no, like, big main stage stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
So you don't know what the pros think is fitting into the meta other than, like, solo queue picks.
Right,
So we're
right.
kind of just, like, everybody's freeballing it right now.
Yeah, it's a beautiful time of the year. I think it's really crazy, and I'm just super excited to see how these picks work out.
We're going to go ahead and hop into a quick break while we're loading into game. We are waiting on spectator delay, so we will see you guys on the Rift.
Don't touch that browser. Renekton gets first pick. They're practicing. Can Lucent really abuse a really great Renekton player? Because we know that chicken delivery is exactly that. And we saw that Samira getting locked in response to a Caitlyn pick. The Lulu comes in for a Luros. We've seen that multiple times. Answered by a Blitzcrank. So Samira, Blitzcrank. Do you have any experience with Samira? What are your thoughts on the champion going into this game?
Well, I know Samira, depending on how early they drafted it. Well, actually, no, I take that back.
I
Ornn
think
was
it's
banned. Because
It was fourth.
one thing I've noticed when I was playing in competitive with the Samira pick is that she hard counters Ornn. Like you
Oh.
can't, you cannot play Ornn into Samira.
Yeah.
Because you will never get an engage off.
Projectiles.
Projectiles, right. And I know that Samira's passive is, I don't know exactly how it works, but apparently she like works off of other people's CC. If someone gets
Yeah.
CC, she knocks them up with her passive or something. I don't know what specifically. I haven't played the champion myself quite yet.
Right.
Except for one jungle Samira game where I hard fed. But we don't talk about that.
And on top of Samira, I think it needs one more nerf. I think it's actually getting one. And this is game 3 of day 1, round 1 of the League Saturday Series playoffs, where the winner of this series is in the money. Keck, this is a money game for Miami.
And they're looking for a cheesy invade. Unfortunately, Laser King is ready for this. Drops.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We are locked and loaded onto the Rift for week 2, day 2 of the League of Legends Saturday Series, brought to you by 1Life2Play, the qualifiers for our Season 2 try.
Yeah, this
Season
is going
2.
to be exciting. We do see Watts the Water on blue side and Finky Binky real kinky on the red side. And you know, we saw this last week. I like that we've been seeing teams just running it down a lane at the start of game. We're
Yeah.
not really seeing any like crazy invades. Obviously, they were spotted out by this Akali, but they said we don't care. We're going anyway.
Right. That's a real kinky level 1 strategy, if you ask me. And try one thing I noticed in the loading screen was Kane is going Conquer Domination.
Mhm.
This looks to me like a red setup. And with that Zac lock, coming in, I think Red Kane actually looks like something that can maybe take over the game. So we'll have to keep an eye on where he passed to, if he tries to get red orbs, and if he looks for that transformation. And when he does get that transformation, how much it can really take over the game. Both teams have kind of dispersed. It might be a mirrored red or topside start here. Mumu gonna be soloing his blue. Oh no, that's leashed, I think.
All
And red,
right, sorry about
yeah,
that.
that's a leash blue start and a Kane starting at Raptors. So I think it's likely that both junglers could be pathing together and towards the bot side, but we'll have to see.
That would be my guess. I don't really, like I said, I'm a little lost in the jungle meta. How are people clearing scuttles and stuff? Is it still top priority to try and double scuttle enemy jungler right now, or is the full clear the way to go?
That's a great question, and I think both of these junglers would be happy trading scuttles, and if one of them can't get to one, they'll give it up. I think the meta where double scuttling is the absolute go-to play is the meta where you see like Elise and Rek'Sai, those level 3 champions that
Yeah,
dominate the river. When you have champions like Kayn and Amumu, they can't really afford to force double scuttle plays, right? So they're
yeah.
both happy trading, and if one gets one, the other one will likely just retreat and go get the other one, and it's fine.
I like to see this, a little noodle slapping going on in the top lane between
Mm,
these two meatballs here.
meatballs and noodles, you're getting me hungry.
Oh yeah, some spaghetti. You know you're hungry when a game of League of Legends is making you think about food. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm I, I'm excited to see how this plays out because I feel like there's a lot of poke in the bot lane for the side of Finky Binky because of the Maokai and Ezreal. They could just be throwing their skill shots out, could be landing Qs from Malphite or Maokai and his whatever little
Saplings?
saplings,
Oh,
yeah,
for
as well.
sure.
Get them in the bush on blue side, and it just be a menace.
Yeah, so what Maokai really provides in the bot lane is total control of the bushes, which is a pretty big deal. Like, Janna could face check those and shield herself, but it would take a lot of time and resources and cooldowns to do that. So most Maokai bot lanes, you have to concede the brush. And if you pair that with Ezreal, you start to run out of places to hide from the Q. It's basically
Yeah.
just your minions in plain sight. So they could definitely provide some poke damage, but
So we see blue side making their way into river because I think we have a little jungle throwdown here. We can get a better look. Let's get out here. I think maybe mid lane is going to come in as well.
yeah, and it looks like blue team here, Watts the Water, will secure them. They had the priority on the crab. The entire team mobilized into the river quickly.
Basically, just making it impossible for red team to make it there in time. Kane just had to back out through his jungle and continue pathing from there.
Right, but both junglers actually pathing on the way as we see a 2v2 emerge, and the focus is going to be the Morgana. Will go down first blood to the Akali. Can they get more? Kane with Conqueror's stack will have to flash, ease into the wall. Akali went a bit too deep, but will not
Oh,
drop. The Kane running into the wall, that bit of HP he got almost baited Akali into death, but at
yes.
the end of the day, Watts the Water with a really nice 2v2 in the mid, get a pickup on Akali, and that's not what you want to see. Another thing, Mumu looks to be taking that crab here. So Mumu did do the aggressive thing.
Hmm.
You transition gank through mid and go for double crab. Kane was on the same page, right?
Sorry about
And
that,
so they
guys.
met each other in the mid lane. And the skirmish in the early game goes over to the Akali in this instance.
I am just turning off our chat here, and it seems like okay, it is off. And we will be back on directed camera right now. We are back in the action. It is 1-0 for Watts the Water, and they're up only about 600 gold right now, so things are looking still pretty even. We take a look at farm here, all lanes pretty close in farm, including the junglers not too far off, maybe one camp, two camps for a Moo here. And we're starting to see people making their backs and picking up some of their first items.
And I think the jungle farm difference just hasn't hit yet off the double crab. You see he's only up a camp and a half, but I think the camps he'll take are going to be up faster than Kane's. Not too sure. But the Mumu getting the double crab and the first blood on Akali is pretty huge. So the gold is not too far off. But the state of the game and the snowball potential that Watts the Water has is definitely there.
Yeah, and looks like Zach was looking for something there on Morgana in the mid lane, but she did spot him out with a ward, hit him with a binding, and now he's just making his way back to top. So maybe a bit of wasted time there for the top laner of What's the Water. But We do see a Mumu making his way down into bot lane looking for something right now.
This shouldn't work unless they focus the Maokai and he misplays, I think.
Kane is making his way here as well, so we may see a 3v3.
So they will go on Maokai here, and he'll just get bursted down. Well, he re-engages with the TP help, so he will drop, but what can they trade back? Morgana will Black Shield herself and advance. There's no ultis in this fight other than the Amumu ulti. He must have just hit 6. Will drop 1, 2, and Finky Binky Real Kinky looking for their third here.
And
I
at the
think
simultaneously getting the Zac passive in the top lane, but it's looking real close.
that wins that. So Zac will
Wow.
trade back for Watts the Water on the top.
Oh, we see Akali here. Was this another TP? Yes, it was.
Akali arriving, not able to find much. Does she still have her ulti? I believe she does. And I think Amumu hit 6 during that. When he ganked,
Yeah.
he was level 5. So I think the lane minions gave him the 6 that was able to give him a 2-3 man route and turn the fight there.
Unfortunately, I think that the Amumu hitting 6 and getting his ulti off there kind of baited the team into losing another life. I think it should have only been Amumu going down there, but instead they lost Lucian as well. I think he was bait when he saw the ulti go off. He said, "This is my chance. I'm eating back in. I'm gonna try and do some damage," and it was not enough. So
Yeah, you're right, Chad. The fight actually goes in the way of Finky Binky Real Kinky. So I was talking about the Amumu ulti, but that's just because it caught me by such a surprise. But I think it was the Morgana TPing aggressively and quickly, and also the heroic re-engage from Maokai to try and last and lock up some members. And we definitely have a game on our hands with the clapback there. And watch out for Kane just taking over this game as he's 1-0-1, farming fine. And hopefully looking to get his form here pretty soon. Another champion to keep an eye on is Ezreal here. I've seen all kinds of cool builds. You can build a Ravenous Hunter, you know, the Tiamat on that. And you can build that on Ezreal, and his Qs will pop with AoE damage. Yeah.
Okay, I love that.
I've seen it.
Wow, that really changes laning phase so much because you could potentially be hitting damage even though they're hiding behind minions.
You don't have it in lane is the thing.
It's a late game.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Well, regardless, when you're
third.
in lane, let's say your team is pushing down mid, they now are not totally safe just hiding behind a wave as you're trying to lay down poke damage. Pretty interesting. What is the early like laning phase build path then?
So I think he's going to go Divine Sunder here. He's in a double tank. Divine Sunder is a max health Sheen item, and Ezreal does really well with it. So you see he's stacking his tier. He'll probably go Sunder next. And then after that, he could opt into the Ravenous Hydra if he's been studying the new tech. Another good third item, there's one that slows you, but we see a Mumu gank. It should work because Maokai engages at the same time.
Flash ult.
And ulti will take down the Ezreal, and it looks like a cleanup act here onto the Maokai. Who do they want to give the kill to? Probably the Lucian. Can he double tap him? One more, and Sticky Arms will go down to Externix. Great job with that Amumu gank. Amumu's showing up.
Yeah, excellent gank by Crip Own there. Well played, and we do see we're going right back from the bot lane into the top lane again. A little brawl there, close to Zac's tower, but not enough damage going out from either of those tanks to make plays happen.
Yeah, and beautiful gank by Mumu. Does land the ulti on both. It looks like Sticky Arms is always... I think What's the Water is able to kind of bait Sticky Arms into an engage when they have a gank coming. They either walk too far forward or they act like they mess a spell up or something. And they can just play it really smart.
Yeah. We may have missed over this. We do see Finky Binky has the Air Drake, and we have a Fire Drake coming up in 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Let's see who will be making their way down into the bot side to try and secure that dragon. I don't necessarily. I guess did they pick up that first dragon when they had the whole team in river getting scuttle?
Honestly, Chad, I'm not too sure. I also missed that. A lot of first drakes can go down to junglers just soloing it once you're like level 5. Some junglers can do that like level 4. So the first drake is often uncontestable by one team depending on the situation. But definitely from now on, we'll have to keep an eye on it as we see Infernal is spawning in 2 minutes. And we know the soul is not Cloud, right? So drakes are pretty high priority for both teams. And drakes are definitely still a solid way to win the game. The item changes did not shake up the end game
Like objective goals as much.
That's right.
That's good to hear. I'm sure people were worried. The Season of the Elements, the changes to the jungle, the objectives was, I think, generally well received. Everybody likes it. I think that if it really mixed things up too much with these item changes, then people may not have been as happy.
Right.
So glad to see that those things are staying pretty similar to previous season, and we're not seeing too much changes outside of the item. We know that affects the meta and what champs are going to be played in the jungle, and potentially how you play around these objectives, but still they play a large importance, and people are excited to like.
This is a 1v1. Morgana will
Yeah,
hit the Kali with ulti, but has to back away because Amumu is there, is running to the safety of the Kayn, who has yet to transform. And you can see the power of the Morgana here. If the Kali shrouds, Morgana could just press R, find her, tag her with that, hit her with a binding. She's stuck for 3 days as Dope Sensei will go clean that up and eventually win the fight for Finky Binky Real Kinky B. 2v2 Eternix has taken down Sticky Arms again. This time no Mumu gank, just the 2v2. I missed the setup, but Lucian Janna apparently packing the heat in lane here.
Ezreal probably has E, but he's looking like he's potentially in a sticky situation. Oh, and a big stun by Amumu. Unfortunately, Janna going to pick up the kill.
Yeah, I think Amumu tagged Humongous Dick with his tether before the Ezreal E, the arcane shift.
Wait, what?
Humongous. Oh, DLCK. Dulk. Humongous Dulk with his tether before the arcane shift happened, and then he followed him with it, and now Humongous Dulk will go down.
Humongous over here, man. Gamers and their tags. I mean, we've seen some pretty creative ones so far in Season 1 of the LSS. I'm sure they're not going to be cooling off anytime soon.
I wanted to make the statement that I will say it, so it's not going to work. Like, I don't know. I actually
you
did
can't
work
prank us,
because I
guys.
said it. No, the names are funny, but they can't be too vulgar. All right, as we return back to action.
Clearing up some vision here in the bot side river, and we do have the second dragon going over to Watts the Water with a Fire Drake and a 2k gold lead. Up 4 kills, and it's looking like, let's take a look at items and farm here. You know, on that side of things, it's looking somewhat even. They don't really have that big of a lead, so game is still pretty close.
Yeah, the game's definitely close. To me, it looks like Lucian and Mumu are ramping here. Kali is farming pretty well, but just has a tough matchup. But my eyes are on the Kayn, who has completed Gore Drinker and is definitely going to be going red here. This champion can
He did
carry
transform,
the game.
so he is red form right now. Oh, some big damage there. But let's see if this roam can do anything for Sticky Arms.
Yeah, and so just helping the Morgana push the lane, kind of unlocking the Morgana for a possible roam. She looks for binding and will hit it, but does that bait her into the Mumu, who will tether onto Zifter. He has the black shield, but it's a bit late. He's looking to retreat, not running to his Maokai. Will flash. Did Akali go too far forward? Both flashes now, mid and
Mumu
with another
committing.
tether into the 2-man. But can his team get over the wall? Another beautiful binding onto the Akali, and she will drop. And Amumu has to flash out as well. Multiple flashes. Now red team is on the pursuit, ultimately winning the situation. As we see the orange flash E will knock the Amumu up, chasing him down. The brittle auto cannot connect. Another flash over the wall from blue team.
And this is a goddamn brawl.
Will fly in and return one now. And we see red team, have they gone too far? With the Zac, he will ulti, bop a few up. Is that enough for Lucian to do the damage? Cripone has slain the Kayn. And we see Ornn, he's still fighting, will eventually go down after taking down Amumu. Zac, one more time, will go in, pops passive, Lucian
And this is going to be an ace.
Back.
Wow.
And that is an ace.
That play, you know, when Amumu went over that wall, man, I was for sure thinking you are way overcommitting. Here comes the rest of Freaky Binky, and you're in trouble.
Exactly.
But then it turned out really well for them, turns into an ace. And things are going great.
And what happened was the Ornn did a ton of work there for red team, but it sort of baited them to going too far into blue's jungle where they start to lose vision, which makes it really hard to win situations. And it was Lucian with the help of Janna. Janna in those really long fights is a very sick champion to have. Can disengage, can just stop opportunities of your teammates going down. And if Lucian is free firing that entire time, you're going to end up winning that exchange at this mid-game point. So really well played by What's the Waters. And yeah, that Amumu crazy play. Queuing over, Ring, and then having to flash back over the wall. But at the end of the day, it works. And you know who would look really scary in fights like that is this red Kayn.
Yeah.
Once he transforms.
But like I said, he is transformed here. But I think he showed up to that fight really late as things were closing
Was he
up. He was
transformed
coming
before
in
the last fight?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. He was transformed before that fight started. He was clearing raptors and then kind of came around after Mumu had already went down. So it's already... But at that point, I think it was a 4v4 again. So...
Gotcha. We'll have to look for a better setup for Finky Binky, real Kinky.
We do have Janna here is clearing some wards. Ocean Drake is coming up in 50 seconds. I would assume that is going to be Watts the Water's next priority.
Yep, definitely. It's going to be Stack and Drake. So can they get their Zac down there? Zac has TP. So does Orange. So we could see it.
We see Kayn going in for a gank here. Can Zac get out here easily with his E? He says, nice try, boy.
Yeah, the Kayn could have, they needed vision on him first. I'm not sure if they saw him charging it up, but the Kayn needed to interrupt the flyby with
his W.
And
yeah.
he was positioned in where he could just put it straight down and bop him up out of it. That could have resulted in a kill on Zac, but good look in the early game. And I think Kayn is on Herald with Drake spawning here, so we see Amumu waddling his way down into the red quadrant. He will want to look to trade those objectives. But if Kayn and Ornn can kill the Herald, and they did, and make it to Drake, they could
I
look
think
to
they
two
can.
for...
Kayn is making his way into mid lane for a transition gank.
Yeah, and he also will help Morgana with push. Ooh, and
oh boy.
Tags up the Akali. Burns her Shroud, so now they have like 18 seconds to wear. But Amumu's already on Drake, so high pressure situation, very intense. Drake will go over to Mumu. We see blue team TPing in. It's going to be a
fight. Yeah.
The Mumu will engage onto the Kayn, who's getting spaced out. He will flash onto the Janna, but she will disengage. Now he goes in ulti. It's a fight at multiple fronts. Zac getting a couple tangle ups here. Humongous going to have to peel off. Who is winning in this fight? It's going to be the Lucian taking down Maokai to start it, but Ornn does so much with that Sunfire. He will go down. Oh, and Ezreal with the sniper reply onto Lucian. So Ezreal surviving there ends up paying dividends, and we see a 2 for 2. Kayn was able.
And it's still going.
Wow. Zulfer has been sniper mode with these bindings on this Akali.
Amumu probably going to go down here too if Morgana can hit a binding. Oh boy, and he does, but only to the pool, thanks to the Ezreal Q.
Yeah.
We could take a look at the start of that fight here.
Yeah,
but as I say that, we may be seeing this. Oh, and he just makes it out. Okay, we could pull that up again and get a look at how this fight started.
So we see Kayn goes in on Janna. He eventually gets the Janna. Now we have the tank 3v3 battle, right? Sunfire's hitting each other. Ezreal and Lucian getting good damage off here. And at the end of the day, it's 3-on-1, but with an Ezreal that can back up damage. He uses Arcane Shift a bit poorly there, but finally... Yeah, makes that a 2-for-1 trade in that sense. And then the Kayn on Janna was 1-for-0, making it a 2-for-2. And this is a barn burner. This is a banger. This is a game here, in our week 2 here of our qualifiers. Who will advance into
What are your predictions? Is that bad? Is that BM to make predictions right now? I think it's looking like I'm really concerned about this Kayn. Kayn is already getting to that point where even though blue side was ahead in those fights, that they are coming out on top, which is quite intimidating.
Yeah, my eyes are on Kayn and Lucian here. Unless Akali finds a pop-off fight, she has been neutralized effectively by the Morgana. It's going to have to be the Lucian. He has an Enchanter, he has double frontline, and he has Akali's threat to kind of help space for him. And if he is not a great Lucian player, he will fall off and not be able to provide the damage to get through the likes of Ornn, Maokai into the mid-late game. But if he is an amazing Lucian player, he can carry this game. So that's who my eyes are on for Watts the Waters. And I agree with you here with this Kayn, and I think I'm leaning towards Finky Binky Real Kinky just because of draft. I think their draft is a bit easier to pull off, and looks like it fits well into what Watts the Water has put together.
Yeah, I think so too. But I agree with what you said about this Lucian. He is ahead. He's 6-2 right now. Definitely the bot side of Watts the Water has the advantage over bot side of Finky Binky, but like we said, that doesn't necessarily mean much if Lucian has a hard time getting through the front line of Finky Binky as we progress into this game.
In track, Kraken Slayer has been buffed in the patch that I was talking about. So big buff.
Glad to hear that. I'm hoping that this will be a little bit better meta for AD carries, as when I last was playing consistently, it was not so good for AD.
It looks fine for ADs right now. With that Kraken changes, champions like Kaisa really benefited from it randomly.
Love
and we
that.
see Lucian, he gets a double auto quite frequently, right? So he's going to be getting those 3 auto procs. Vayne is kind of out of control with this item too. So yeah, Marksman can cut through these tanks. It's all about the curve, right? If Lucian is ahead of curve, he will be able to get through. Or if he falls behind that curve, he'll have a really hard time. But with the Amumu Zax setup, their playmaking could set up completely free fights for Watts of Waters too. So I'm not saying those two champions can't carry the game. They just can't provide the DPS. They could carry the game with excellent playmaking.
We do see, again, Ocean Drake coming up in about 50 seconds here as we see all the team kind of hanging out in this bottom quadrant. Red side definitely having the dominance here in blue side jungle.
Yeah, Kane taking Krugs right in the face of Amumu, but Amumu will find the tether on him. When Black Shield goes down onto the Kane as they look to Loki disengage, and Binding will hit. Zephyr really playing this Morgana really well so far. Just bindings every time she's on the screen of someone else. And we see some of that Maokai poke coming in. Janna can help a bit with that. And red side, another binding goes down on Amumu. This might set up a Kane Q into W ulti. Amumu will drop now, and it looks like a red team fight. As we see Kane persisting, Humongous will take down Akali. That's a 2-for-0 red team, and I think the remaining 3 will have to flee.
Yeah, this means that Kane is going to be able to easily take this dragon here coming up in 1 second while the rest of blue team backs off. We could take a look at how that fight started here with Morgana getting a clean binding on Amumu.
Yep.
Kane can easily just phase through the wall, and they shut him down pretty quickly.
Yeah, and he was able to get in his ulti, I think, before Amumu even ulted. If Kane is not being chain CC'd, he does not die. And if you add Morgana Black Shield, which we already saw Zulfer put on him once, if you put a Black Shield on that Kane in the middle of 3-4 tanks, he's not going down. He will heal on those tanks. And I think he is going to be going Black Cleaver next. And Death Dance does look good, Try, but it's a armor item now primarily. It gives you, I think, like 30-40 armor. So you would be reluctant to buy it against Zakamumu Akali.
Yeah, definitely.
But definitely Cleaver is a good pickup. Amumu will tag Zephyr here. Is he out of position finally? Will they get him down? It looks like a 3v1. Quickly dropping. Is there a Zanya's? We see
another fight breaking out here.
As a reply, this could be a blue team fight as we see Kane engage, gets multiple man knockup. Amumu all hits him. He's getting bopped around in the bouncy house, and I think he ends up ulting, healing, and getting out. Maokai really low. Here's the Lucian, but Lucian's low. Kane will eventually drop, and we see Akali pursuing the Maokai. Blue team, red team should not have taken a fight after their Morgana goes down for free. That's like the only way blue team can win a fight. Now they should start Baron, but they should also not feel too bad if they have to back off. Ezreal can chip away here. See that Ezreal Q there? A couple more of those.
Oh, and he gets one.
He ends up just going for the kill. He's going to have to dodge the Amumu bandage toss, but can't because of the Zek.
But that may be enough to cancel the Baron. I don't think they're going to be able to restart it now. They're just going to have to back off. Red team is coming up. So I would say worth for Ezreal there.
Yeah, definitely worth. You get the kill on the Lucian. That's your counterpart. He goes down, and you stop Baron. I'll take that. Another play could have just been looking for more Qs, because once you tag that Lucian, he kind of has to just leave.
Otherwise, he just dies to Baron damage.
Yeah. And you could look to, maybe put together a double or a triple if you play it a bit slower, but...
Yeah, if you land, in that scenario, you land, 2 or 3 more Qs after that Lucian Q, that could mean all of them are chunked to a quarter health, and then you make your aggressive play.
And the way HP can work is once Lucian goes down to 10% HP, he no longer occupies any space that you can't walk into. So now you have more space to influence the Baron decision. You can look for greedier Qs without them being able to do anything until eventually you can E forward with no threat of response because everybody's too low.
Yeah. Mid tower finally going down to Finky Binky here, and starting to open things up. We do have the tier 1 towers for top, mid, and bottom gone.
Oh,
Watch the
Mumu,
water.
beautiful two-man ulti. And the follow-up here for blue team as Zach will fly on to Humongous, and they take out Morgana. This is the engage blue team needs. Ecternix will take down Ornn, and Lara took down Mungus, and it's just cleanup from here. Blue team finding the plays with the Amumu Zach, and that's absolutely what needs to happen for them to win this game.
Yeah, so we can bring that up. Unfortunately, Kane hanging out in the top side waiting for that scuttle, and he looks like he probably will get it here, but that means the rest of his team going down, and if I am Watch the Water, I'm looking at Baron here.
Definitely look to Baron here. Beautiful engage by Mumu, followed up by Zach, but now it looks like a steal situation where he just doesn't want to be spotted.
He needs to be careful. Oh, he's walking into the scanner. They do know he's there now.
He runs in. They are aware. Mumu's looking. They stop the damage on Baron, but he goes in at 1K, and blue team will take it. It's Zach. Kane in ulti cannot 1v5 quite yet.
Yeah, a worthwhile attempt because things are looking pretty rough for Finky Binky now, but really did not want to let them get that Baron, so I think it was the right play to try and go for the steal. Unfortunately, Zach going to get it.
Yeah.
So it must have been close because the Amumu Smite didn't get it. Kane had his chance there.
If it goes over to Zach, you know it was up in the air and possible for Kane to get. But, you know, big pressure situation. Yeah, I agree. You got to go for that if you're Kane. And you can absolutely still win this game for Finky Binky, real kinky, unless they let the pressure get to them and start just perma-contesting everything. I think when enemy team has a better team fight or these, like, big engage tools, you're going to have to stack a few towers. We'll have to see how they minimize the damage. But they're already invading the jungle, and Amumu has found out Sticky Arms, who gets the black shield. But it's a red reply, a huge Amumu ult. And a good Ornn ult through this cut here. It is a mess in here. We see Lucian free firing, but will go down. Humongous has gone uncontested this fight. And here's the Ezreal damage with the Divine Sunderer here. Zach is trying to DPS down the Ornn, who will bop him and himself away. The Ezreal follow-up. He has red buff. He should be able to chase this down. It's a matter of commitment, and he will flee. Zach still has passive. And Ezreal's looking to play wave here. Has Ornn with him. And what an absolute mess of a fight.
Yeah.
We'll have to take another look at that one.
We can bring that up right here. It seemed like Humongous Dick had humongous damage there in that fight. Totally uncontested, like you said.
This
is bringing up a... This is like way past fight.
You see, that's what was happening to me in Season 1.
Yeah, no problem there. But yeah, it seems like the game is starting to break open. We're seeing fights take place back-to-back off respawns as teams are making their way into enemy jungle, trying to take some resources away from Watch the Water, but by doing so, they're getting themselves stuck in bad positions where they're taking kind of these messy fights that are not going in their favor, and now it's a 26 kills for Watch the Water and 17 for Finky Binky, real kinky, and it's looking close. Finky Binky, though, we did miss it again as we were talking about that play. They do pick up another Ocean Drake, so it is 3 Drakes on the side of Finky Binky and 2 on Watch the Water.
Yeah, and Finky Binky winning that situation and getting Drake, in my opinion, does mean that entire fight was worth it, although it did look good for both sides at times. We saw Mumu and Zach get a ton of value in those fights, but at the end of the day, if you're getting that third soul and putting your team on soul point, it's totally worth. And we see Zach with an impressive scoreline, and boy is he tanky here, kind of taking over the game with this tank Zach top, at least statistically.
Yeah, looking good. He's 7-0-8 with a 700 gold bounty. It's going to be hard to take that away from him. This is kind of a scenario where, you know, as an AD player myself, I see this game and I go, I mean, again, I don't know that much about the meta. You're kind of telling me a bit about the Ezreal builds and stuff, but this Ezreal is not getting through that, Zach. Last season, before these new items, like, that is just too much frontline for your Qs to do. Your team needs to stay alive long enough for you to be able to do that damage. But, again, then we also have the Lucian here, who's 9-4. He's pretty strong.
Yeah.
It's going to be difficult to whittle down that front line without going down to Lucian.
Definitely. I want to argue for the Ezreal because Divine Sunderer, his first item, is pretty broken. It's a max health item, and he also has Bork as max health, so he has a max health setup that could cut through tank. But I'll agree, Try. It's not. I don't think it's the best champ in slot to deal with this enemy comp in terms of DPS. In terms of safety, it easily
Oh,
could be.
definitely, yeah.
But we'll have to see like his cut through power, his stopping power on this build here. He also has Conqueror, right? There's a lot of tools Ezreal puts into his setup that can deal with the high resist of the enemy.
Give me a little
champions.
rundown. Like, what is meta? Give me like top 3 champs per role.
Top 3 per role. So for top lane in competitive, like in this.
Yeah. Like what we think we'll be seeing over the next couple of weeks.
So top lane, I think you'll see a lot of Ornn, a lot of Malphite, and maybe some. Let me see if I'm forgetting anyone. Ornn, Malphite, and I'm thinking of a fighter like maybe Camille, but you have to be pretty ballsy. Ornn, Malphite. I'll go to jungle for now. Let's go Kayn, Amumu, Hecarim.
Okay.
Mid lane. I want to say mid lane. I kind of have no idea.
Mid lane's hard, right? Because it's kind of like up in the air, like assassins, mages.
It is. We'll go Akali, Orianna. I don't know.
They nerf Victor enough that he's not as.
We could go
as
Akali,
he was?
Orianna, Victor. No, we'll probably see some Victor.
Okay. We did see the Victor ban this game.
Yeah, it's still there. Oh, Kayle.
Okay.
So top lane will be, I'll say, Ornn, Malphite, Kayle. Go into bot lane. It's going to be Jhin, Ashe. Who knows? Third, maybe Ezreal,
Kai'Sa,
MF,
after these
Kai'Sa,
changes?
sure. Support is also tough. I think Leona is great. If not Leona, maybe Morgana, Janna, Nautilus, something like that.
Yeah. Well, we're kind of chit-chatting here. These teams are trying to play catch-up. They're playing the safe game. Well, we do see a bit of an engage here, but I'm going to guess that this is not going to play out to be anything.
Look at
That's
that
just
heal.
going to back off here.
That block heal for hella.
It did. So Koibi beat Primetime Gaming off stream. So the winner of this match that we're currently watching will play Koibi.
All right, and I'm really excited to see Koibi play, and I'm sure we'll be talking a ton about them, so I'll keep my focus on Watts the Water, excuse me, and Binky Real Kinky, as we have ourselves definitely a game, definitely a close game here. Could go either way for sure.
100%. We do have Ocean Drake coming up in about 20 seconds, and that would be a soul for Finky Binky.
Looking to turn back, and it has to flash as we see a 5-man collapse on the bot lane. So if you're Morgana there, you need to understand that rushing 5 bot is a good play here because it's so close to Drake.
I was going to say, I think that, to me, that means that Watts the Water is going to be getting the Ocean Drake here. Again, Finky Binky could make a play, and they could potentially win it depending on how they play it out, but it's going to be tough.
It's a Zac tower dive, but he's not taking any damage. She still has Zanya, so she's kind of baiting. That's like 2. Here, the Zanyas has to pop soon. She dodges. Great job. That was so many tower shots on the Zac, and he does not care. But it's a 2-man Baron sneak as the response here for Finky Binky.
They know. They are on their way.
So we see a skirmish in the river. It's a 1v3. How well can Kayn do in this situation? He gets stunned up by the Amumu, is forced to flee away. There's the W. Has to Q away.
Oh.
Cannot heal. Lucian will end up double tapping him down. Ornn comes through, hits multiple members. My eyes is on Akali here as we see Ezreal in the river as he enters. Oh, Amumu with the R flash onto the Ezreal. He will continue to tie him up. Humongous is forced to completely retreat. This looks like a blue fight win. Maokai with a flash Q to pick up 1 member. It's a pretty even fight as Ezreal's healing off Zac Bobs. But wait, he's back and he's tanky. But he drops to Ezreal, who was completely.
I ate my words. The Ezreal did so much there, and he kept healthy that whole entire time. Janna just on his ass while he's just laying out damage. And like you said, the heals that he was getting off the blobs was bananas.
Yeah, and I think if we were to watch that back, I think Ornn actually low-key. Watch Ornn here. I think he carries this fight. Watch him in this choke because Ezreal gets tied up by Mumu here. You see the R, now the Q. Ezreal's completely bailing, but Ornn in this choke doing a ton, soaking damage. Gets them 3 members down to 1 HP.
Ezreal coming back in
get
now.
1. Now Ezreal with the safety in his kit is able to play the long fight, can heal up on the blobs here, and still has the support of Morgana. So I think Morgana and Ornn did a ton that fight. Ezreal did a good job evading the Amumu, staying alive, and eventually it was a team fight win for FBRK as they pick up their Ocean Soul. Now Red King Ocean Soul with an Ornn versus the Zac that can eat 20 tower shots. Zac,
I know, this is wild, and this is such a close game here. That's only about what is this, a 2.5K gold lead for Watts the Water, and now the Ocean Soul for Finky Binky.
Oh, this could be a great Amumu look. Look at the way they're stacking the brush, but he doesn't find it. He has Curse of the Sad Mummy and didn't see that angle there. Could have been a information or vision situation. As we see, Zach will go in with the E. He tries to lock a couple up, but he'll get rooted and might drop, but he's healing a ton. Amumu with a 2-man ulti on front line. Lucian with the culling will follow up on that and drop one. That's Sticky Arms going down. Lucian still DPSing, but gets tagged up by some big damage as Red Team advances, dropping member after member, and Ezreal with the double kill. It is Finky Binky, real kinky.
I cannot wait to see the Ezreal damage after this game. I'm going to assume with how big the health pools are on the side of Watts the Water, it's going to be an absurd amount of damage at the end of this game. Is this going to be them closing it out right now?
I think we saw Ezreal crack Lucian with like a 500 HP Q and kind of won the fight there. On top of the Qs that he's slinging towards.
And I mean, realistically, they've melted that Zach. If we're being, like when he jumped in there, he went down pretty quick for the amount of health he has. And that is going to be the game for Finky Binky, moving on to take on Koibi in the next match. Wow.
What a game. That was something.
That was something. What a close match. I love to see it. I love to see it. Let's see if we can get out of here and check out the damage. And we can. Okay, so let's see here. Ezreal, it's a 33K?
I can't read.
I think it's 33K. Lucian coming out with more damage than him, but man, towards the end there, he was really doing a lot. I'm surprised it's not more with how big the health pools were on the Amumu and the Zac there.
Definitely. And I think the major mistake there for Watts the Water was their engage setup. Throughout the course of the game, it was Amumu engaging and then Zac with follow-up. I think Zac as primary engage in the late game can falter and can completely fail. He got locked up by the Morgana, probably thought he was tanky enough to 1v5.
Yeah.
But if you're going to use your engage spell just to put yourself in the middle of the enemy team and get binded, then that is probably the worst thing you can do on your champion. So
agreed.
I think it was a coordination mistake in terms of engage tools for Watts the Water, and a really good punish and maybe a easier to execute composition for Finky Binky, real kinky.
Well, I wonder if it's not necessarily even like the easier to execute. I mean, to me there, when you said, you were calling it for us, they did have vision in that bush and river. They were all, 4 members of Finky Binky were in that brush. If the Amumu hits the Q there and gets the ulti, that could have been a totally different outcome, but instead it was Zac making that engage.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. Maybe he had used the Q for camp right before they realized they were all moving into that area. Not really sure. Yeah. But we're going to go ahead and take a quick break here while we get ready for our next game. And then we will see you guys back here in, let's say, about 5 minutes.
Yeah, hype.
Yeah, get hype and don't go anywhere.
The ward in the tri-bush sees that they're trying to go for this cheesy invade. Unfortunately, Blitzcrank won't find anybody.
You know what I haven't seen out of Miami, and we've seen almost everything out of this team? Level 1 late invade on the red buff, the enemy red buff, when you are this red side here. We see a lot of pro teams do it. They draft things like Lilia, who can go kill Raptors, get level 2 and then win the fight. But even if you don't have a Lilia, say you have a Nidalee or Graves or something, you can still late invade that red buff. And it's another split map type situation like we saw in Game 1. I have yet to see Miami late invade that red buff. So something to look out for in the future. I wonder if that's in their wheelhouse. I'm sure it is. But we got some bush. Look!
Some cheese shenanigans. Cleave with the great Blitzcrank pull, but forces the flash onto Ayla Rose.
And actually, not a necessary flash whatsoever. That's pretty much the brunt of their combos, getting yanked into the Samira. I think if you just run away, you get maybe one more Samira auto, maybe an auto Q or something, but you'd be able to regen there. So wasted flash by Laros there. Just got completely bamboozled and spooked.
Yeah, really crazy. Just Blitzcrank cheese, Blitzcrank shenanigans. That's just how you gotta play it. Oh, and the level 2 advantage coming in from Luigi Mesh in a pause.
Troy said, bug, I don't get hit by anything. Miami University, they're digging so deep into their champion pools. This is like maybe plan J for them, these 5 champions. And we'll have to see if they can pull out a dub here as Galio able to stand up to the set, but
And it would seem like Troy 1 is finally going to accept the fact that he did just get level 2'd on. That's why he got engaged on, so no bug there.
and I sort of dislike the Evelyn pathing. She's pathing top to bot, right? And
we see
Fiddlestick's
a gank
first
in
on the
bot
map.
lane. We see a gank bot lane, but the bot lane from Miami is not level 2 yet. And so Fiddlesticks is just going to have to walk away.
So Fiddle did his full blue side into bot gank, and Evelyn did her full blue side into her red side now. So Evelyn will come out ahead in farm, and Fiddle's looking for another visit.
And looking at this mid lane right now, unfortunately, it's going to get... Galio's got that 6th sense, so he's going to dodge that gank here.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a transition gank. He's now going to go into his own red side, and Evelyn first to full clear. She should be able to get that bot crab, and maybe could give a look to the bot lane. The only thing is, your Evelyn is pathing top to bot into your Kate Lulu lane when you could be pathing bot to top into the Renekton lane. Evelyn needs to be with the Renekton. You can't itemize against this. If you buy Mercs, Renekton's gonna eat you. If you buy Tabbies, you're gonna get chain CC'd for too long, you're gonna die. This Evelyn Renekton duo can abuse Lucent's Quinn, even with cleanse. I need to see activity from Evelyn with her Renekton, but for now, she's gonna go for this bot crab, which she's perfectly happy to full clear in a bot crab. Don't get me wrong. And she is ahead in farm, and we'll be able to 2v2 here if that is the case.
And Luigi Mesh is going to actually use the Justice Punch into Troy 1. And because he gets feared, he's unable to flash out. Great first blood secure going over to Miami University.
Yeah, man, I'm a big D with the flash fear. There's no counterplay, and Set doing a great job holding his W that whole time. Waiting for the fear guarantees the W, and that's how you 2v2. It's unwinnable for the Evelyn Galio, especially since Evelyn was a bit late. Because of the reliability of just clicking on someone, they are now feared. Guarantees the W. Great job by Miami.
And here we see Chicken Delivery on this Renekton looking to be aggressive, but because Quinn just can counter and just use the vaults every single time Renekton tries to be aggressive, he can't stick to the Quinn. This is why Quinn is an answer into Renekton.
Yeah, and I don't play either of these champions top, so I'm not really sure exactly how this matchup goes. But we do see 2v2 top and a 1v1 in the mid. Evelyn is with the Renekton and possibly tower diving, but Mayama Big D is there to look. Here's the 2v2.
And man, he's just going to take some Q damage from the Evelyn, but he doesn't care. He's sucking Krugs, getting himself some HP.
And there's no better time to be taking Krugs, am I right? Evelyn's looking to go and try brush. Maybe I'll counter jungle Krugs while you stack a wave and then we'll dive, but Fiddle's already there. Oh.
And there's looking like another 1v1 here in the mid lane. And Troy 1 flashes forward, probably not necessary, but the second Q from his passive is going to be enough damage to finish off the Galio.
Luigi Mesh dancing with the devil with that.
Oh, but here comes the Renekton. He's going to use the showstopper, bringing Renekton back into the turret, but he's still has the level 6 advantage. I don't know if Chicken Delivery wants to fight this. Remember, Troy 1 has the Haymaker. Go back, Director Tool, please. And Renekton's going to flash forward. He gets the kill, gets level 6.
Chicken Delivery wins the melee duel. The brawlers in the mid lane did not even have ultimate, but that's probably why Troy took the fight. It looked to me like with fleet footwork and Ghost, Troy was going to be able to kite in and out of the Renekton and win that.
And another thing is the bot lane of York University are just too far up without vision. There's a pink one in that river bush. And Laser King, unfortunately, is going to get taken down here. Blitzcrank hook onto the flashless Lulu. Great kills going over to Miami University. Good tracking of the timers. Ailer's flash was not up for a good 10 seconds there.
And this Fiddle has, as we see the replay here, so Renekton wins that fight, but you're crashing the bot wave. So York University needs to kill this wave and get it in. This is their most vulnerable time. If Blitzcrank decides to set them up for a gank, it's the time window. So we see Fiddle is in the blue quadrant in this replay. Oh, the minimap is not synced to the replay. But yeah, if you're looking to crash the wave, you need to be aware of jungle ganks. And I think if a Fiddle can gank you pre-6, you are making major awareness errors because his lack of tools. He was flashless. It was the Blitzcrank flash setting up a walk up to you, silence, fear you. That gank is not potent enough to get most really high-level bot lanes that are extremely aware of what's going on in the game.
Especially since the Lulu is flashless. She needs to be respectful of that engage. And now, here we go, like Zerking is also himself is going to be losing his flash as well. So this is just another lane that Fiddlesticks is going to look to constantly engage himself onto. And here we look for more cheese. Blitzkrieg is going to use the Hex Flash. He Hex Flashes into the bush so that they can't see him. Runs right at Caitlyn, going for the knockup, but Caitlyn here's with using her range, putting a lot of damage. And here, looking at the mid lane, Troy 1 is looking for an engage onto Luigi Mash. Luigi Mash uses the taunt to force and slow Troy 1, preventing damage from coming through. But there's just aggression in the mid and bot lane. There's an aggression all over the map. In here, like you said in Champ Select, Evelynn is now on that top side. They're looking to make that 2v2 play onto Lucent. Lucent doesn't have cleanse. And so here comes the stun. Okay. Lucent's going to have to force the flash to get out.
His cleanse was down. If that charm hits, he dies 1,000%. So
Right.
now he's cleanseless and flashless. You need to come back, Flare Pyre. You need sack everything else. What's most important is denying Quinn of minions, getting plates, getting Renekton a kill would be great. Getting Herald. Just commit to the top side.
Oh, and Troy 1 is going to pull in the Galio, looking for more damage here. Hex Slash again from Cleave, gets the hook onto Lulu, but Lulu has flash this time. Does she need to use it? She's going to burn it. But lots of damage. The Samira ultimate doing massive damage as well. Fiddlesticks with the Crow Storm going in, silences and is draining the kill onto Lulu, but pops the stopwatch. Will he be able to get out if Blitzcrank walks up there and
He
takes the
did.
tower?
Blitz went and took aggro. Look at his health.
Oh, very well played from Miami here to turret dive that. Oh, and like we see here in that interaction, even though Quinn did use the vault, the stun was still able to go off. Mid lane, more action as well. Troy 1 taking some damage onto Luigi Match, but unfortunately, here comes Evelynn.
He has Merc Treads. He does not care about these two, and that's why Set is so good here. You're in a double AP, you rush Merc Treads. He already has a Null Magic Mantle on top of it. He's not afraid of that Evelynn whatsoever.
And that's just the power of Set mid, especially into a team that drafted double jungle mid AP.
Exactly, so don't gank your AP lane. Use your Galio to go somewhere else.
Exactly.
Fight somebody who can't afford to buy Merc Treads, like Quinn.
And so here we see it looking like Galio is looking to make a play up in the top lane. Ultimate is up. Set is resetting right now, but if he walks through here, oh, he's just going for a river bush. They see that the Set has chosen to do for the reset.
Fiddle's going to get his red, get Krugs, and then have a presence in top lane while...
Chicken Delivery using the Cutlass to deny the Lucent recall, but he's going to use the Ruthless Predator and stun a minion.
Yep, you know, when you're an angry crocodile, sometimes you just want to stun something, and you can't ever get your hands on Quinn, so take your anger out on the minion.
Oh, but here's Mayama Big T. He's up here in the top lane. They know that he burnt the Cutlass. He's going to have to force the dominance early to give himself some extra rage, but the Crowstorm comes through. Fear into the knockback. Chicken Delivery has no way to outplay this.
And Mayama Big D is walking up to people and channeling Crowstorm right in front of them while they have no way to get out. It's kind of sad. Yeah, Chicken Delivery flashless there. And we saw him greed for that push. It's such an awkward lane state. Oh.
Oh, and here we see some bot lane action. Troy 1 is well here. He's going to pop the Showstopper, gets the knock onto Laser King.
Welcome back, everybody. We are back and ready for our final game of the day to see who our winner is for the qualifiers of Week 2 here for Season 2 of the League Saturday Series. I am Diddy.
And I am Trifolge. And like Diddy said, we are going to be getting into this game. The winners of this game are going to be qualified for LSS Season 2, and if they return next week, they will have a bounty on their head.
That's right.
And I am excited to see if these teams will come back in following weeks.
Right, so to go into that a bit further is, since the team who won last week did not return, the bounties up in the air. So the winner of Week 2 will now get the bounty on their head, meaning if they come back for Week 3 and win the tournament, they claim the bounty for themselves, and that's cash money in their pockets, so super hype. And to the future winner, come back next week and defend your title.
I'm excited to see these matches here. We're just waiting on the teams to get into pick ban. They are in lobby and they are all ready. I think we're just waiting on them to go ahead and hit the start button. What are you thinking here? We didn't get to see Koibi play off stream, but they do have a challenger top laner.
They do.
And that is the highest elo we have seen so far in the LSS, and I am excited because I'm going to be honest, this is the first time I've seen
A
a
challenger?
challenger player, like, you know, on my own, like in a spectator for this.
Yeah,
So pretty excited.
it's taking everything in my power not to fanboy right now up here as a top lane main myself. I've just seen top hippopotamus in some high elo games, and obviously just the nameplate and just the rank of challenger
Yeah.
is so sick to me. So I'm extremely excited to see
So real
this
quick
game.
before we get in, sorry to cut you off, but
You're good.
again, guys, not sure what difficulties we're having with our pick ban. We're editing the names in our software, but it's not updating for you guys live on stream. So on the blue side, we do have Koibi, and on the red side, we have Finky, Binky, Real Kinky, and we are seeing, I think we saw a set ban on blue side first, and Poppy, red side ban. Poppy, that's kind of a unique one.
All three of these bands to me are, I
Standard?
think, no, I was going to say like targeted. They
Oh,
must be
okay.
target
Yeah,
bans.
yeah.
They don't look that common to me. The Jhin obviously should be banned every game, but Poppy is, yes, a very strong tank in the top that you could opt into. But to me, it's like they want to play something that Poppy completely cucks.
Yeah,
Otherwise, Malphite's a good option. Ornn's a great option. Like there are other tanks. It's just Poppy is really good into like Fiora, Camille, dashy
Yeah.
champions, Akali, stuff like that. And we saw Ezreal taken away. It looks like Koibi was watching last game, right? And they're going to prevent Humongous from getting on that champion again.
Yeah.
I ban Ezreal when I believe my bot lane can win because it's hard to actually push advantages on an Ezreal. He's so safe with the long range. And the first pick here could be Hecarim, could be Kayn, could be Ashe, could be...
What I'm excited to see here is, like, I don't actually know for sure if these teams had done, so obviously not. I was going to say, I don't know if they've done Pro Draft yet or not. Some teams like to use Pro Draft, others are cool with doing it in client. But with that pick
it's
being
live.
first pick,
Yeah.
it's definitely no Pro Draft involved. So I'm excited to see the live pick ban going on right here and how
Unless
things are
it's
going to play
a new
out.
technology Ashe top.
Oh yeah, the Challenger Ashe top,
Literal chill.
the style. He's just styling on everybody
What
here.
will this 1-2 be as we're starting to run out of time? It's going to be a Morgana pickup. You compare that with a Kate. You compare that with a Misfortune. Would
Do you
be
think
good
we're going to see
options.
the bot pick here?
Yeah, you could because you see the enemy marksman. You know you're into an Ashe, so you can go ahead and lock whatever it is you might pick. I would like something that would kill on binding, which Morgana would, and Caitlyn would, or I'm sorry, Misfortune and Caitlyn are my best number 2 marksman. That will
So
go
we-
with Senna, so extremely safe scaling lane here with a ton of utility.
Is Senna played as support in this meta? Could this still be? I mean, remember last game we did have Finky Binky playing the Morgana in the mid lane.
That's right.
It still could be a flex that we're seeing come out on the red side.
That's a really hard question for me to answer, Chai. I think I have no idea if they could put the Senna in support and it would be beyond me. And we see a Jarvan locked in. So what I like about the Jarvan lock-in is, yes, you can Black Shield CC, but what does Black Shield do to a Senna that is in Cataclysm, right? So it's a bit of an answer to that Black Shield approach here. And we see a Xerath lock third. This could go
I
mid
love
or
it.
bot.
I
Yeah,
love
and I
it.
know you love you some Xerath.
I love some Xerath. I'm all, throw in some Xerath Vel'Koz into games like these, and it's like surprise. You don't really see. When's the last time you saw Xerath picked in a competitive meta?
I've
like
seen it in
long
some
time.
collegiate stuff as support.
Okay,
But
well,
like
that's support,
never mid.
never mid,
Never
though.
mid.
Yeah,
No, never mid.
that could be a support Xerath though as well.
Definitely could be. And it would be a really great support pick if they drop the rest of the team full AD. That's my style, is to have your solo AP on support. That way, the minimal gold you're getting is getting maximum value, if that makes sense.
Because
as long as they're not stacking.
You're not
on
building
armor.
against you, if
Right.
you're
Yeah, so like a Zyra, that's solo AP. That could backfire in your face, but let's not worry about that as we see Ornn banned out, so Malphite could be another ban here, and with Nautilus banned, Leona could be a good ban as well for either team. So that's what I would be looking at.
Last ban here on red side. What is it gonna be?
It should be Malphite because you want to... Okay,
Maokai.
Maokai. So you want to counter pick the blue side top pick, and so you're taking away some good blind tanks here. And then if you're going to ban Nautilus, you might as well ban Leona as well. And this tells me that they do try, I think, Morgana will be mid and Senna will be at AD. Otherwise, they wouldn't be banning support. So I'm expecting a Leona here. And if not, that could be a decent pickup for Watts the Water if that's the flex that they're going to run.
Finky. Sorry. So we'll, it's, again, confusing even for us because normally we would be seeing this properly. But on blue side, we do have Koibi, and on red side, we have Finky Binky Real Kinky.
Mm-hmm. And another thing to point out, we mentioned Topopotamus multiple times here, but he's going to be blind pick, okay? So even a challenger with blind pick top, you're still blind pick top. You could get an awful matchup. You could be completely neutralized. A lot of things could go.
So the Thresh, so definitely a Morgana mid. We have Senna AD and Thresh support. So like you said before, you took away some of those blind pick top laners for...
We'll have to see what they opt into, and it will be a Cho'Gath likely in the top lane, and then this pick. Okay, that would mean Cho... Wait a second.
Cho top, Xerath mid. Yeah, I'm excited to see the
Xerath
Xerath
mid
mid
here.
here.
Try.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's go.
This is like the try special. Probably your number 2 or 3 champ after, what, Vel'Koz is number 2, or is it the number 1?
I think it's Vel'Koz number 1, Xerath number 2.
So
yeah.
Resident Sniper over here, Try. Can maybe talk to you about that
Resident
champion and how to maneuver it here, but I'm sure their Xerath is
Much
a
better
great
than
player.
mine.
And they left the Kale up here to be responded by Kinky Binky Real Kinky. So you are Cho'Gath into Kale. You can win the lane here, and you can even super punish with Jarvan and kill her 10 times. The only thing is, even if you kill the Kale 10 times, if she gets 2 items and some free time, she can really deal some damage to the enemy comp.
We saw last week, we saw some Kale, but we never really got the chance to see her really doing, you know, the new stuff with new items.
Right.
I really want to see the potential of that champion in its full light here for Kinky Binky. They're really going to need it if they're going to take down Koibi with that challenger top laner. We're going to have to see Young here really doing some work to you know, make that difference for his team.
Definitely.
I'm thinking like maybe that choice is specifically for him to like kind of just play it cool top and play for late. What do you think?
Absolutely, he's going to have to play cool, play for late on the Kale. You don't have many tools to get through the sustain of Cho'Gath in the early game. You can chip at him with your E, but it doesn't matter. And one last thing, Try. We are not going to be able to see the Kale like ridiculousness that was last patch because I said earlier, I'll say it again, they nerfed not only her champion's attack speed that she passively gained, but both of her first 2 items were nerfed significantly. So like her entire... you know, first 11 levels are pretty hard nerf, but it really still doesn't matter because of
if once you get to that point, you're still Kale.
It's still
you're
a
still
matter,
Kale regardless.
It's still a matter of meeting conditions. It's just the conditions were nudged, I guess, back in time a bit, if that makes sense. But I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some Kale, some insane Kale play. But I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I'm excited. We're going to go ahead and hop to a quick break while we wait for the spectator delay to count down. So do not go anywhere, and we will see you on the Rift.
The ultimate from the wild growth is not going to do anything to keep Laser King alive, but Flypass is able to get the return kill onto IBN's Samira here. So 1-for-1 in the bot lane, even though the jungler was committed to the top side, but Galio Luigi Mash just didn't seem to move.
And in hindsight, as the observer, a Polymorph...
Oh, and a Cleave gets a hook onto Flarepie here. Polymorph coming in from the Lulu, but the tenacity from Set. The Polymorph means nothing. Flash coming through to dodge the Galio Justice Punch.
No respect for Cleave's hook.
And he's just running right back at Luigi Mash. Here comes the Caitlyn ultimate. He's going to have to pop the Haymaker to give himself the shield to mitigate the damage.
Lots of misplays here in the bot lane for York University. That's all I'm going to say, which is easy for us to say. We have full information, full vision. We're not in the heat of the moment, and we're not getting pressured by this Miami team. But that was just not properly played, and Miami up 5K.
Yeah.
And I think Evelyn needs to use Drake. So Miami wants Drakes, right? Miami always gets Drakes. Okay, give up Drake. When Drake goes down, you better be on the top half of the map and go kill Quinn.
Right, because Renekton is your shining point. This is the champion that you want to get you through that early mid game. The champion that gets you to that late game team fighting, so you can use the Lulu to power up your carries.
And we see how Quinn hasn't committed to tier 2 boots. She can't go Tabbies or Mercs yet. I know she wants to rush her item, but it's because you have AD AP top. It has to happen. It has to be the Renekton. There is no other option.
Right.
But Troy, he understands this too.
Oh, and unfortunate for Flare Pie there. They just randomly found him in the jungle. That's just unfortunate for him. And here comes the Crowstorm. Finds the suppress and the ultimate from Troy 1 onto the Galio. They're just running around the map killing people now.
They are just running around the map, killing people. Keck, you nailed it on the head. That analysis is absolute fire.
Thank you. Thank you, Diddy.
I'm serious. Spot on with that analysis. And we see bounties on the top half. The half of the map that's supposed to be strong when you draft Renekton. Evelyn is just behind, and this Quinn pick is working out like a charm. Has flash, has cleanse, not going to be easy to kill. Cleave is just target practice here in bot lane. And Flarepire trying to, what is it called? Salvage this lane. And I'm not sure if that's the right play.
Oh, and the Blitz Plank hole onto the Lulu. Again, forcing her flash.
Go in, Samira,
Here
go
comes
crazy.
Samira, popping the ultimate, looking for a return kill. Galio teleporting down into this bot lane to stop Troy's roam. But Troy won. Maybe he's biting up more than he could. Haymaker does so much damage. He is now on a killing spree. And now IBN is going deep for the Caitlyn kill. And Galio's trying to get a return kill onto Troy 1 as well. But Samira does so much damage. The taunt shut down. Double kill going over to Luigi Mash on this Galio here.
Luigi Mash, more like Luigi Bash for the double kill with the Galio passive auto. Great job, good punish, good being on the map by Galio. Great job here. We see this skirmish where
Oh, but AD carry forgot that there was a Fiddlesticks in the game.
Bien goes a bit deep here, right, on Samira. Naturally, as a champion, kind of has to go in to get value, but puts her in between Galio and the tower and Lulu. And they're able to win out in that situation.
And here comes Lucen going for the tower dive onto Renekton. But even with the cleanse to get out of the stun, he's still going to die to the tower.
So you saw he E's. He gets the W on the E. I think if he insta-cleanses it, he could maybe run out of there. I think that was a bit slow, but man, my Big E is just eating.
Oh, and again, the team of Miami are just walking into the jungle, and they find Flare Pie. Unfortunately for him, the Galio is not fast enough. And they're trying to steal away the red buff, but the team of York doesn't want to give it away for free. Oh, and the Crowstorm. Crowstorm finds no. Oh, but the Blitzcrank hook pulls the Caitlyn into the Crowstorm. Exhaust going on to Mayamo Big D here. It's going to be a shutdown going over to Laser King's Caitlyn. But here's Troy 1 looking for more damage, but he's going to walk straight into a trap.
I'll say it, Keck. I'm going to call him out.
And Laser King secures the red buff.
How? With what? Oh, Q?
With the Peacemaker.
This was a disrespectful Crowstorm with no setup, and it gets punished. Great job, York University.
And now we look at here. Galio's a bit too far up. Justice Punch trying to get out. Hey, Showstopper's going to bring him back. Oh, and now we look at bot lane action. Evelyn getting a kill onto the Blitzcrank. But Samir's going in with the ultimate. Caitlyn's running away from
He can do it again.
Lulu.
Welcome back, everyone. We are loaded onto the Rift for our final game to determine our invitee to the Season 2 of League Saturday Series. I'm Diddy. I'm here with Trifold. We'll be bringing you today's final game.
And wow, am I excited because, like I said, I don't think I've ever personally spectated a game through client with a challenger player in it. I feel honored, and I'm excited to see if Topopotamus can really show me the difference between some of the master level players we've seen in our league, and you know, and really show us the difference between those top 500 and top 300 players.
What I think is he is on Cho'Gath. He was blind pick. There's not too much responsibility on him to completely carry. I think the engine of that comp is going to be this Xerath pick, and which is funny. Also,
music
there's
to my ears.
Xerath. Yeah, this will be really cool for you to watch, because I think the idea of this comp is when you look at the KO ulti and Morgana, how they like to play is completely negating like burst strategies, right? But if you're constantly chipping away, then you're not going to get as much shield value from the Black Shield and from the KO ultimate as if you were full engaged. So I think the Xerath poke landing is going to be major key for what's their name again? I'm sorry.
Koibi.
Koibi.
Yeah.
Thank you For Corby, yeah. And, like, so you see Morgana's a mid pick, right? Morgana's great in a champions like Akali that want to dive you, burst you down. But traditionally, you counter Morgana with chip mages, with poke mages, because, yeah, you can black shield my spell, but then you don't have it for X seconds. And if you whittle away at the Morgana, she can't really fight back at the range that Xerath can.
Yeah, if I'm this
can pull
Xerath here, I like this matchup. I'm looking for Qs that hit minions and hit Morgana, like you said.
Yeah.
The Black Shield cooldown is much longer. She should be saving it for his E, so she doesn't get the stun. But, like you said, it might get to a point where she just needs to use it to avoid some of that chip damage.
And this looks like Kale not respecting the level 2 of Cho'Gath. It looks like he killed his level 2 minion and then was able to get a pretty nice trade here. Kale doing fine in lane, though, is going to accept the push. Another thing try to look at, there is no way out of the Cataclysm for Finky Binky Real Kinky other than Unstoppable Onslaught of Shadows. I'm not sure if that's actually the name. For Hecarim, so Hecarim would have to ulti out or Thresh Lantern.
Yeah.
Minus that, if you get Cataclysm and you don't have Flash, that's a free Cho'Gath knock-up into silence. As we see a scuffle at the red buff at topside here. Who's going to win it? I think Hecarim will win that. It looked like he was going to go down, but the help from the Morgana with the Hecarim final rampage, the Jarvan actually drops here on his own invade, and it looked like he was going to win it, but the faster move was the Morgana.
Yeah, I can't swap it. My brain hurts, but we do have them in the wrong. They got into lobby in the wrong order, so it shows Morgana.
You could drag those, I think.
It does not let me. I just tried to. But,
as we see a 2v1 here, top bottom is forced to flash away and still will probably drop as long as Hecarim can auto him with the red buff. And there it is. Dope Sensei will take out Topopotamus here. And it looks like a great start here for Finky Binky. Real Kinky. As they amass a gold lead of already 1,300. That's
man, and look at that damage going on them. But, oh, here comes the J4 gank.
The EQ will land on a Thresh as they walk away. They haven't used any sums yet, and Humongous will return damage on Senna, but it was a complete throw. It will drop to Rayan here. Another Jarvan EQ will get interrupted by Flay, but it's not enough. They needed to just leave that. They had 4 sums and were walking away when Senna...
Yeah, let's look at that again. The Senna trying to turn.
So I imagine she turns into a Janna shield. So
yes, exactly what happened. She did not expect the Janna shield. She tries to take down the Ashe here, and then... surprise,
heal,
shield, and it's over.
Yeah, so not respecting the Janna rotation there, right? Yep. And we see his Topopotamus with a nice Q land. Will start off with the ease that slow the kill. I don't think he kills here, but
man, look at this play. I mean, so deep from the minion wave, just shoving Kale off so aggressively.
Definitely. Kale needs to do her best to use her W to dodge the Cho'Gath knockup. I'm pretty sure I played this matchup a couple times. It gets annoying because even if you chip away at the Cho'Gath, his sustain is crazy, and his knockups can become lethal, even just one, depending on what he builds and the situation of the lane. So high-risk lane for Kale, but that is what you opt to do when you draft Kale because of that late-game power.
Yeah, and not doing too bad. Only down a few farm. I saw that she secured that. I'll wait here because it looks like we have the engage from
back field here, followed up by Xerath Q, a couple autos, and Colby will take down Zulfur here. The Morgana in the mid lane giving Xerath a much-needed crash in his lane so he can get a good reset in.
Yeah, J4 showing complete jungle dominance right here, in my opinion. I mean, they get the play down on red buff. It looked kind of rough for J4 there. Morgana picked up the kill, but then he comes right back, ganks bot lane with a successful gank, and then ganks mid with another successful gank. So far, so good for J4. If he can keep this pressure on, well, Hecarim is, trying to make his way through his jungle and get his camps, then it's looking good for Koibi here.
Yeah, and it's really impressive by that J4. A lot of junglers would die on the invade and be like, oh, I got to farm. I'm just trying to farm. But, J4 can't really farm the jungle. He has to just be proactive. And so what he does is just visits lane after lane to, okay, we're not winning through jungle, let's win through lanes. And so that's what you have to do on that champion.
Yeah, I'm excited to see here. We see the TP coming out for Kale here. So no TP in the top lane for either laners, actually. Flash coming up probably in a few minutes here for Topopotamus, but Fire Drake going to go over to red team already.
Yeah, really nice pickup there. Could have just been from reset timers or just jungle pathing. Like I said, the first Drake is usually hard to contest for the team that just doesn't have the better setup. So going over to FBRK. It's a few points of damage. It's really not much to celebrate yet.
Yeah, we're at only a 400 gold lead here. It's still really early. I mean, 6 minutes in, we got 5 kills already. So, you know, this is kind of a, you know, the game picked up right away. Usually we're seeing in LSS, we see a lot of early games being stalled out so far amongst these teams. Lots of like 0-kill games going into like 15 minutes. This game, though, seems like both teams starting off you know, with high intensity, trying to make plays happen, picking up kills, getting the game rolling early on, which is kind of unique, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here.
Yeah, and we see both junglers are on the bottom half of the map. Hecarim hanging out in the river looking for an angle as Blue Wave is pushing past river and being caught. Thrushhook will go wide, but look at the wave there, Try. That is really bad for blue team if they can't kill these 6 minions in retreat. So Hecarim knows this. He'll ghost in. There comes the R. He will bop the Janna back. She can shield. It's a 3v3 as Colby has arrived. Cataclysm goes down on a Hugh. Hugh heals back. A nice AoE heal. And over time, the Senna team wins that.
Wow, both teams making it out, though. Pretty lucky there for Koibi. Was that a Senna flash there, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had a flash.
So at least getting some sums. We still flash and heal on Ashe. So sums up for blue side, but not red side AD. Oh, and the flash from Morgana to dodge the E. That was a good flash. Zerath giving a little bit of BM with the emotes there.
Yeah, and we saw Topopotamus was able to, I think, had a push timer and went and leashed the blue for his mid while his jungle was ganking. So, you know.
Clever.
Yeah, clever way to get the resources onto your mid laner, who was able to use that blue buff to now get Morgana's flash. That's a possible gank angle with the Cataclysm here. And we see this chip damage. She can negate some of it, right? But she cannot really fight back because Zerath can stay so far away that it's really hard to hit a binding. And we'll just kind of keep him at arm's length.
Topopotamus here playing pretty aggressively. Oh, because J4 is on his way. Red team just going to back up here. I don't think we're going to see anything come out of this. Oh, or are we? Hecarim being a little bit confident here.
Jarvan was able to EQ, and Hecarim knows he has the KO ulti, right? So he can kind of 1v3 for a few seconds. And with the first
okay, we're going to see a 3v3.
That was a bit early. KO will maybe go down right here as Topopotamus will consume her, but we'll get traded back because we see the Morgana has arrived. The Hecarim is still swinging, and it's going to be a 2-for-1. If top goes down here, he kills the mini for the level up, which means he has enough HP to survive the Senna ulti.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go back and take a look at this. Morgana did try and push up a little bit, but nothing going to come of it. Let's take a look at that. I mean, getting away by just the tiniest bit here.
Yeah, the slimmest margin. It was KO drops early. The Zerath roam was nice, but Morgana also roamed, so Zerath was out of position. We see Senna's lining up an ult, but because he turned and autoed that minion and got his level 8, he had enough HP to actually stoke that ulti and stay alive, making it a 1-for-1. And we still have a tight game here. Try the gold lead is only 2-100.
Oh, take that away there.
Thank Mr. Monster.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Monster, for your thing. If you didn't know, we are fueled by Monster here at 1Life2Play.
Dude, I'm jealous.
And yeah, I do got one right here.
Dude, give me some.
Let me tell you, that Mango Loco. Woo!
Nice.
Nice.
I am a bit jealous, but it's a bit early. All right, and we have returned to a somewhat neutral game state here. As Jarvan, we see him on the top side. Hecarim on a recall. I think the play is going to be Herald, but we have an Ocean here spawning in 40 seconds, which means Soul will be either Mountain or Cloud. Cloud would be nice for the Hecarim, right? Mountain would be good for just about everybody. Kayla actually farming well as well and has her range form, so we'll probably continue to just farm it out.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with Kale at this moment. Up a level as well. Up in farm. Well, pretty much tied in farm.
I think Cho gets ult before Kale, so if Cho has ulti, or if it's up in the next few... Okay, he could have maybe gone for lethal. Oh, he does not have ult. Neither tops do.
Yeah, no flash as well, so probably...
Just pushing and chilling.
Yep. Kale will have ult up before Topopotamus, though.
But we see the Jarvan's on his way, right? So if Jarvan can get there in the next... Kale ult is up soon, and red team will take Drake, giving Jarvan the go-ahead to make this play. Kale should understand that she's in a situation where she will be dove if she doesn't leave, I think. You gotta think you want to go for it. You just have to play around the ulti. Starts with Cataclysm. Here comes the EQ knockup. Cho, I think, has held Q, but the turn play, the Kale turned it and killed the Jarvan. I wasn't watching the tower shots, I was watching the Kale. She's able to easily use her ulti to save herself and actually trade one back. Not the play you want to see for Koibi.
Oh, and here comes Hecarim from left field. Woo! What a play. I didn't even see him coming.
Wanfeng, is that you? He came from their base. That Hecarim pathing into the gank to set up the kill on the Cho'Gath. Hecarim has Triforce on the map right now. He's insanely strong. They are up 2 Drakes here. We see Hugh trading back here. It's a 2v2 with a Janna heal. Not much to come out of it. And Finky Binky, they're looking real kinky out there.
They are. Extremely kinky plays coming out from Finky Binky. And are we going to see a 3v3 here again? J4 going for the gank, but do they even know that Morgana's coming up from behind?
Oh, and that's a solo kill.
Yeah. Oh, and things are just playing out hectically here. The Xerath ult coming in. Clutch doing a little bit of damage there. Did he pick up the kill on Thresh? I'm not sure.
The Hecarim. Oh, I thought Hecarim was actually going to spot out Xerath. But Heck is on his way, and does he have ulti? He does. So Hecarim with Triforce could clean this play up. They need to be very wary, but he will actually opt to go right back for the Xerath. Starts with the R, easing back in a lane. Here comes the barrier. Is it enough? The flash as well. Stuns him.
Oh, he's going down.
He's calling for Koibi.
Does the team get down here?
Oh, the EQ misses. Does he have enough autos? Can Hecarim actually heal through that? There's no way.
Oh, but Janna. Oh my gosh, Janna just making it out with 1 HP. So that ends up being another 1-for-1, so not too bad there.
Wow.
Oh, she needs to watch out.
The activity from Jarvan keeping Koibi in this match and keeping it close, but I still have to say, the Hecarim is up 33 farm, has 4 kills, and is well on his way to his next item completion. He will be rampaging this game. Kale with the completed Nashers. She is pretty much a champion now, and after her next item, she will be 2 champions. That's how that character works. It's pretty gross.
Nice. Legit.
Xerath completing Luden's right now and will return. So Xerath with his mythic and Cho'Gath with his mythic as we see Kale putting some pain down. The only thing is, when you auto Cho'Gath, you are risking the rupture from hitting you, unless you could use your W as a fight for red here. The Ignite will go down. Koibi casually getting red buff and enemy support Ignite. Not too bad.
I would call that a win-win.
Kale looking to get frisky here. Can look to poke Cho'Gath out, but look at the sustain. He will gain a ton of HP as these minions are dropping here. So hard to chip at him. Could also hit the turret in his face, and again, just have to dodge that rupture out, and you will be fine. Now we gotta watch where Hecarim is, because Hecarim
making his way in a topside jungle. Looks like he's looking to just clear the top quadrant, grab that red buff, and then maybe look for something from there. I mean, if this wave is going to bounce off of top tower and wave meets in the middle, it might be a good opportunity for Hecarim to go from red into the top, especially after that chunk. Now,
yeah, Kale with a bit better auto spacing there could maybe look for the solo kill, because what you do is you drop your R on yourself, then you flash on them. That's a good 200-300 damage, and then you can do another Q auto E for another 200 damage. You could easily drop 500 damage on Cho'Gath right there and maybe look for lethal, but didn't find it. As we see a 2v1 where Morgana is walking right up to Xerath with a Jarvan there.
I love that Xerath play there. The moment he gets stunned, he just drops the ult. He's like, I can't move anyway, so I'm just going to barrage her while she tries to run away from my jungler. Works out perfectly. Xerath grabbing an assist, 1, 2, and 4. Another kill for Jarvan. So things are looking good for Koibi here, but 2 Drakes on the side of Finky Binky, so, you know, oh, actually, Finky Binky here still with a gold lead, so...
Yeah, they're ahead, and the Drakes, though, it's going to be a Cloud Soul. This is the soul that most teams regard as, you know, the least impactful. You get movement speed on the... Oh, arrow
so
just
close.
barely misses. Movement speed on the cast of ulti, and ulti cooldown, which is great, but Let's see if Kale will pursue this now. She'll have to hit wave. So Kale does not have the spell vamp item yet, but she will pick up a Leeching Leer and eventually go into an Omni. Forget exactly what it's called.
Zerath not really doing too much damage right now, but I'm excited to see like what his build path looks like. What mythic is Zerath going to be looking for this game?
He has a Ludens. That's a mythic right there.
Oh, okay.
And that's going to give you burst damage, a bit of wave clear, and also move speed now. So you see how Zerath is kind of flying around right there. He gets a bit of move speed on landing ability as Hecarim will solo out the Ashe, gets her heal, the Janna shield, the Janna R, the disengage, but it's not enough for the rampaging Hecarim as he will turn his sights to Janna. That damage is just unfair.
Hecarim just tanking tower shots there as well, but blue team picking up the Drake here, so
that's
not too bad, but
trade.
oh no, here comes Hecarim. Hecarim is on a roll, he's 6-1.
Cataclysm lands, which should mean a rupture is coming soon, but there is no rupture to be found. As we see, the Morgana is
Hecarim
keeping tabs on Jarvan and Zera, so it's a Cho'Gath 1v3. I don't think there's much he can do here. He'll flash the wall, followed by Thresh, who will flay him back. There's the rupture. It will miss. He has the support of Zerath and a bit of poke damage, but will ultimately drop. Too many members there.
Extremely well played by Hecarim, just playing a little bit of do-si-do, trying to avoid the damage from Cho'Gath there, not going down at all, and just picking up some more gold. He's got a 350 gold bounty, 6-1. Hecarim kind of looking like he's taking control of this game.
Yeah, he definitely is. I mean, you saw the 1v2 bot lane. That takes control of a game right there. When a champion can do that much. Yeah, as Ashe, you shouldn't be in a 1v1 with Hecarim, but it hardly was. The Janna was right there. Janna used her entire kit to try and peel the Hecarim. It wasn't enough, so just, you know, that champion is out of control. You need to keep tabs on him if you are Koibi, as we see. Here's a Cho'Gath play that should result in a solo kill as he has Senna against the wall and just bounce that humongous.
That is what I'm talking about. See you later.
Taking a bite out of humongous there for the kill, keeping Colby in the game. But what do you know? It's the Kale split. Yes, you can split on this champion. You can do anything. You are two champions.
I want to make a meme out of that. The guy from Dexter, his face on Cho'Gath as he comes out of the brush there, super speed. Surprise, motherfucker.
You have to make that now.
All right.
Or else I'll clip that and I'll tweet it at you like, why have you made this? But yeah, Kale breaking base, not getting inhibited yet, which is fine. Getting the turrets and will be answered by Cho'Gath. So blue team with a bit of regrouping here. Stacking bot while enemy red team is stacking mid. Can they clear this wave out? Cho'Gath can probably help with that. And it's a 1-for-0 turret trade. You could say that that is the answer to the Kale split turret trade. As we see, the Jarvan will engage on Morgana. If he cataclysms, she cannot get out without flash. And the Morgana will go down. He sets his eyes on Kale now, who can return a ton of damage. They need to be careful. They will focus on the wave in the mid lane. And what do they look to get with that kill on Morgana? Can they mobilize quick enough to get anything off of the map?
Yeah, that's another stack going over to Cho'Gath here. If we take a look here.
Oh, try. I have something funny.
He does have 2 stacks now because he must have died earlier, but starting to get pretty big.
So the every mythic has a stacking passive that says for every legendary item you purchase, your champion gets X% of this. And for Frostfire Gauntlet, it's champion size. So for every item he completes, his champ will just get bigger, like 20% in size. As we see a gang on the Thresh who will try to Q his way onto Raptors, but it won't work. The Kale ulti and the Senna ulti.
So I'm not going to lie, I think that's a waste.
Hecarim to go down here. Hecarim will go down here. There's no other tools to keep him alive. Oh, and the Colby follow. Wait a second.
Wait a minute.
Flashes the wall, I think, for the heal. I thought Hecarim was going down for sure. That was a really nice follow on the Hecarim ult.
Yeah, I cannot believe that works out for them because I think that it was a huge misplay to waste both of your survivability ultimates on the Thresh, who was already stuck in a terrible position.
That's right.
Even if you kept him alive, there's not much he could really do to turn the fight after taking as much damage as he did. It would have been really difficult. It would have been better to keep that ultimate for the Hecarim or for the you know, the end of that team fight. If they had both of them, they could have kept that going and definitely turned it with how we saw the Hecarim turn and take out J4 anyway.
That's right, and I thought the same thing. But let's just worry about this. They're starting Baron up with the Kale damage. Kale damage is plenty, and Hecarim does a lot too. I think it is going to be sussed out by Koibi. Can they get here in time? Barons go down insanely fast this season, so they know they got to hurry, and they will be here in time. Here's some poke, and Kale is in a really risky situation. There's no flash.
Yeah, so if you look at the minimap, Ashe is on her way, and Morgana's in the bot lane, no TP, so it could end up being a 5v4, and Finky Binky just going to back off because of that.
Yeah, and they'll take mid. This is a smart rotation here. When in doubt, you can push up mid, get that priority, and what do you know? There's a tier 1. They'll go ahead, take that. They can push the wave and look to move. They want to answer the Morgana set. They're not bleeding minions, but yeah, they definitely had a man advantage. The question is, do they track TP timers on both mid
and
top?
I think they're in trouble. They're going to take this Drake, but if you look, Kale about to get an inhibitor right here, maybe.
Yeah, this is a smart move from Kale, too, as well. Understanding that, yeah, they need to answer my Morgana. Morgana's still pushing. She's pushing on the strong side right now. Right?
Yeah.
And they don't even go deal with her.
So a little bit of, going for the Baron play.
They're not dealing with Morgana because they have to go to Baron, but Morgana can't TP up. So blue team will have numbers here if they can put together a contest, as we see. Oh, the hook will land on Ashe. Does Ashe drop for free here? Hecarim will charge on the Ashe. She is down. There's the KO ulti to prevent the center from going down, who can now heal the rest of the team. This is definitely advantage red side. Cho'Gath is big and tanky, but what can he do? The Chomp will not kill the Kale, but it'll take her low. There's no more threats. It's all down to the Xerath now, who only can poke Hecarim. Let's see.
Yeah, and this Cho'Gath is huge.
Cho'Gath is soaking so much for the Xerath with a big W down. Okay. And Morgana has come from the base now, doing her best impression of the Hecarim, and with a big Morgana flank will clean up the fight. Eventually, they don't have the numbers.
Yeah, and that is the Baron, 100%. There's Kale has enough, like you said, to take this Baron here. Huge play there. Morgana, I didn't even see Morgana coming up. I was not paying attention to the minimap, so I could guarantee you they weren't either.
Yeah.
And as she comes up and gives the team the advantage, and it just goes over to Finky Binky pretty easily there. And now they're ahead. They're pushing that gold lead further and further. They're about 7K up now, or no, about 5K up, and taking the Baron.
They're waiting to give the Baron to Hecarim as he's just spawned now, so they will take it.
Love that. Love it.
5 Barons. And yeah, that fight started with a hook on Ashe. Ashe was not able to participate at all. You see, she still has heal and her ulti flash almost up. So if there had been an Ashe there for DPS while Cho'Gath was soaking like for 11 seconds, that definitely could have been a different fight. But great job by Thresh for the hook, and also Hecarim with the follow-up. And it's definitely still a game, but it is looking favorable for Finky Binky. Real Kinky as they're up about 6K and Kale advantage.
Yeah, Finky Binky looking really good here. Hecarim is just big dog right now, 7-2 with multiple items completed and working on finishing his 3rd.
Yeah, Triforce and Cleaver already with the healing from not only Senna, Kale, but you also have Morgana can shield you up as well. So this is very much a Hecarim carry comp. Both teams setting up traps right next to each other. Who has the information? Cho'Gath will face check, and it looks like a catch onto the Thresh. Can they get him for free? He gets chomped by the top eponymous. And it's a 5v4 situation. Try. If they can keep doing that, they can slow the game down enough, stabilize to where they can get another 5v5 look with Ashe alive.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, we're kind of at the point in the game where one big fight could mean the end. They're starting to break the base of Koivi. Like we said, they already have top inhibitor down. We're about, I think we're one big fight away from the game ending here. They have Baron. Top inhib is down.
She's 1v4. That's not what she needs to be doing. Okay, Kale goes down. That's another proactive play from Colby.
But does that opening up a little bit more, that only one more tower defending inhibs here. I don't know how long until that top inhibitor comes up, but the pressure is on for Koibi.
Pressure is on for Koibi, and yeah, that's a good point. Breaking the base could, in hindsight, depending on what happens from here on out, could be worth to open up that inhibitor. Morgana trying to take blue, will not get away with it. We need to look at objective timers. It is Cloud Drake up in 1 minute, and try this. This Cloud Drake at 26 minutes does not have much impact on the game. All it will do is put one team on soul point. So you don't need to throw your entire game with a risky contest here. You need to have your information proper, and that's what Cho'Gath is good for. He can face tank, face check, clear out vision, and escort
Look
his
at this
Janna.
man, just huge right now. I keep bumping our camera out of focus, and then it takes a second to reset. But we got Perp over here going to tell me the health numbers on this Cho'Gath here, because I'm curious on his HP. Yep. 4,600 HP on that Cho'Gath, just looking humongous.
And he still has 2 full slots, and he can sell boots if you really wanted to. You could probably get up to 7, 8. Oh, we just saw a TP. I'm not sure exactly who it was or where it went, but good chip damage onto Kale here. A bit more. She's stunned up. They're going to look for lethal and maybe force her ulti out. You see
so
Black
no ulti,
Shield.
but does get the gets out with Lantern. Ashe is in base, though. We do have a super wave pushing up to their Nexus towers. Ashe has to stay behind, so it looks like probably going to go over to red side here.
Yeah, and you could just give this. You could just look for
I don't think
maybe
he's going to. J4 definitely not letting it go over.
Red team gets it. The Hecarim gets it. They'll probably look to kill J4.
Ashe ulti coming in, hits the Senna.
Good dodge from Janna. Kale will flash over the wall. Drops the Hippopotamus. It's a winnable fight now. Watch the Ashe here as they will engage on her Cho'Gath. That is actually what Colby wants.
Thresh going hard. Flash over the wall for the hook.
Ashe able to open up, but watch the Hecarim. Ashe got hit by a binding. Hecarim didn't even see it. He could be killing Ashe right now, and he doesn't, as Hippopotamus is tanking. But it doesn't matter who Hecarim focuses, because he just runs at people and kills them one by one.
So this may or may not be it. We've got 40-second cooldowns, and they're pushing into base. Morgana TPing top. This is definitely going to be game.
It looks like it. I can't see the exact spawn time numbers. We have a Janna up. We have Jarvan up. They need to kill these minions. If they were to like one-shot this wave, if Jarvan were to EQ wave and maybe smite cannon, they could buy some time. I think it's defendable. I mean, they need more members out there on that wave. I still can't see the spawn timers. As we see the Cataclysm come in, he will EQ out just to buy time. Here comes the Hecarim ulti onto the Janna. The Xerath is up. The Cho'Gath is up. It looks like a defendable Nexus
my God,
try.
this is crazy.
They're gonna defend
an Ashe arrow.
The shutdown onto the Senna is the Ashe arrow. And can they ever kill Hecarim? Jesus Lord, they will with the Cho'Gath execute. And it's
I am just blown away here. I cannot believe they're saving this game right now.
The game is alive. Kale's here, but Kale can't really 1v3 yet.
Koibi pulling out a second chance. So close to ending for them.
After some GGs went down in the chat.
Yes, yes.
And that's always something funny to talk about if you're going to drop GGs too early. I actually forget which team it was that said it, but if you're the team going to end and you drop that GG and then you don't, it feels like it really comes back and puts pressure on you.
Oh, yeah. So things looking really, really, really hard for Koibi here.
You can engage here, yeah. Jarvan will go in. If he cataclysms, the rupture will hit. Here comes the silence.
Oh, she's definitely going down. She does have ulti, but it's not going to do anything to save her.
Bouncy house time, and we'll go down to the top Hippopotamus, who is getting big out there on the Rift and has had some massive plays try. I think we are seeing some of that.
Definitely. He is 9-5 right now. This game is definitely winnable for them, but it's going to be really, really difficult. They need to play it perfectly. If they lose members of their team, I think it's going to be over because there is open Nexus, 2 inhibitors down.
But there's no one threatening the Nexus. There's no Kale alive. I think Koibi has to
make the aggressive play right now. They need to make the play right now, 4v5 in the river, and then go for the Baron to have any chance here. If they wait for Kale to come up, it's going to be a 5v5 in the river for the Baron play to end game. So we will see. Kale does have TP, though, so if they do get too distracted here...
maybe 15 seconds try.
If they get too distracted here around the Baron to try and defend this, there may be a play could be made. But it looks like they're going to back. They need to defend base. Baron probably going to go over to red team, and truthfully, I think that is it. I think if red team gets Baron here, Koibi will not be able to do anything to stop them from ending.
At least it's a full team to commit to giving, and it's not a can we look, oh, we're all dead. But I
Yes,
agree,
yeah.
Try. I think they needed to pull the trigger when the Kale was dead, and they could
With
take a
long
5v4.
respawn.
But Xerath, look, will not get the Baron. That would have been crazy. And Pinky Binky, real kinky, in the driver's seat, in position to win this game. But Koibi, happy to even be here still. Will take any chance they can get. A couple mistakes from FBRK could mean a comeback, a crazy comeback
Oh, that would be one for the books.
for the books. And now it's just a base defense game, but you have a Xerath who can half health Senna, but then she can heal back half of that.
Look at this Cho'Gath. He's just looking for his opportunity to chomp.
And it's a face-off. It's a full base siege. Where's the Kale? Kale's in the bot lane. Ash is dealing with her.
This is where the pressure is applied, and
Who's going to make the play?
I think they're going to get choked out here.
They're
It's
just
all
gonna
or
defend
nothing.
Nexus.
It's all or nothing right now. They need to make that play. They have no Nexus towers.
Who's it going to be on? Who will they engage on? It's going to be the Thresh that the Driver engages on, but he Cataclysms on too. Looking for a Rupture now. Rupture will hit. There's a knockup. But who is anyone on the Nexus? Is Kale on the Nexus? Blue team has to fall back. A couple big cooldowns come over the top and kill Colby. It's only a 3-man defense now. And Finky, Binky, real kinky, crossing the T's, dotting the I's, and dropping that monster topopotamus as they advance out of the Nexus with Baron minions. And there you have it. Week 2
Wow.
qualifiers results in FBRK advancing and being invited to the LSS Season 2.
Congratulations to Finky Binky Real Kinky. They now have a bounty.
They do.
You got a bounty on your head. You guys better be here next week
Come
to
back next
defend
week.
that bounty. Wow. Good games. I hope we're going to see Koibi back because
Yeah, Koibi.
that was so far. I mean, we're only in week 2 here, but wow, was that a fun game to watch.
That was super fun. Both games were actually pretty crazy.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
super fun to watch.
Yeah.
So definitely Koibi come back and try. I got to get something off my chest for everyone in here. That Morgana being Silver 2, I think is a little sus. We might need
Yes.
to look into
Like
that.
we said before, as we move into the regular seasons, things will be much more strict on smurfing. I do agree.
We take it seriously,
Little bit
like-
of sus going on here.
Little
Definitely
bit of sus.
performing much better than the OP.GG rank says. We saw 9 ranked games in silver on her. Yeah.
Okay, and that's all we
pretty
have to say.
confirmed.
And
Yeah.
Chai, I'm glad you're backing me up here on that one. We take it very seriously, and that's all we really need to say. But congratulations to
Yes.
FBRK. There is no rank cap, so it's not. It's fine. Everything's fine.
yeah.
But congrats.
Wow,
and
what a
come back
game. That was a
next week.
great game to watch. Heckram just doing his thing. That Heckram was a menace in that game.
Absolutely. And remember when we talked about the higher elo team is not necessarily going to win in these. They're best of ones with the new items and the meta switch up. So something like a Hecarim with the Triforce Mythic can win you a game. As we saw, he could easily like 1v3
Yeah.
3 mobile
Yeah.
champions. That's gross. So if this was a best of 3, Koibi could just ban that Hecarim out or take it, however the draft will go, adjust, draft, and maybe they would draft something OP for themselves game
Yeah.
2, and it could be a different series. But in these best of ones, very volatile and very high variance here. And just goes to show any team can win these games,
Yeah,
which makes
definitely.
them really hype.
With that being said, I guess I could kind of bring it up now. So something we need to think about is us gamers. We don't necessarily read everything. So we've had some things out there in the chat and stuff
I
that
think I do that.
the teams aren't necessarily like reading through everything. They're not realizing we're trying to catch them on stream. So remember that next week, if you guys do get signed up for qualifiers, please do not start your games until given the go-ahead, because we do like to catch as many games as we can on stream. Also, if you guys do not read everything, for anyone who doesn't know that these qualifiers that you are playing in are going to move on to a regular seasons. If you do qualify for the LSS, we will be doing an 8-man league that runs for multiple weeks.
8-team league.
Yep, 8-team league running for multiple weeks in a round robin, which will then end up being a playoffs, which all of those games will be best of 3s. Grand championships will be best of 5. So if you do feel like the best of ones here make things a little bit of a toss for you, make sure you're coming back next week for qualifiers, because once you get past this qualifier stage, we will be moving into best of 3 format, and that's where it really gets down to the nitty gritty, and you better show up with the best of what you got.
Definitely.
So
Yeah. And the
oh,
games get so hype, and the prize pool is what, Chai? So far. Or you
prize
don't know
pool
yet?
so far is
$750.
$750 prize pool right now. Man,
Yeah. So
yeah.
if you want not only competition, weeks of being in a league where you're just playing best of 1 per week, right?
Mhm.
So one best of 1 per week, which is really like fun and easy to be in. But then, boom, playoffs. You're in a best of 3
Oh no, you're
series.
playing once you're in the round robin, regular season start, best of 3
Oh,
from
it's
there
best
on
of 3s
out.
the whole
Yep,
time?
yep.
Okay, all right.
So-
Well, if you want like better team wins, best of 3s grinding out, then that's
Yeah,
awesome. That's
yeah,
even
it'll
more
be
hype.
exciting. So, oh, look at what we got here. Surprise.
Go ahead, Shai. What were you saying?
I'm just excited. Like, I want to see these teams come back. Remember, guys, there is bounties on the teams that won. If they come back to perform in week 3, you can get a little bit of quick cash by taking out the team that has the bounty on their head. And look at this. Check out this League Saturday Series Winter Edition long sleeve shirt. Looking damn good.
Ooh, I feel
Yeah,
comfy
let's
now in
see
this
that.
room.
Woo,
I was
man.
like a tad chilly in here this whole time, man.
And now
Helmet
you're
in,
good
but
to
now I'm
go.
like, whew,
Yeah.
I'm relaxing. It's actually a really nice shirt.
Yeah,
So
they
did
are. I
all
love it. Looks
so
great.
Finky, Binky, Real Kinky just got 5 of these? Or 1?
5.
They
One
get
from-
5 of these?
Yep.
That's lit. All
yeah.
right, come back next week. Colby, you didn't win this week. That's okay. It's a best of 1. It happens. Come back next week. You get 5 of these. You get signed up. We want to have I should say everybody, not just Colby. I'm like, Colby.
No,
come
I know.
back.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
We did. We
even
had. Remember,
Watts
guys.
Water was really good. Come back next week.
Watts
They
the
were
Water.
awesome.
Yes,
They
they
were
were
great.
great. Yes, we'd like to see you guys. Make sure you return. Get another chance here at the LSS qualifiers. And I was gonna pass it over, but one more second, we'll just hang out with you here. Yeah.
How has your week been? How was your Thanksgiving?
Good, good. Yeah. Well, let's wish everybody. I hope you guys
Yeah,
all had
happy
a
Thanksgiving.
great Thanksgiving. Let us know in the chat what you're thankful for. I'm thankful for this team and this job, and I love what we
Oh.
do here at 1Life2Play. It is a great time, and I couldn't wish for anything else.
And
So
I'm thankful for the players in this tournament.
great one.
Always.
Yes, yes. Make sure you guys come back next week. And with that said, we are going to hand it over to the awesome Holy Boxers to close us out for this week. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you guys. I don't have much left to say because these guys closed it out so well. I did want to mention, I know that I mentioned this earlier, but our Black Friday sale with 30% off of everything, that shirt that Diddy was just wearing, our winter edition LSS shirt, is $15.40 right now with the Black Friday. That is absurd. That is absolutely absurd. Get 100 of them. I don't know. Buy a bunch. Congratulations to Finky, Binky, Real Kinky. Both of their games today that they played in, they kind of proved that they can close out a game no matter the circumstances, which we love to see in the LSS. So congratulations, you guys now have a bounty on your head like the guys mentioned. So if you guys come back to play next week and somebody else beats you, unfortunately, they take that cash and they take the bounty. So you have to prove that you earned your spot. So 2 more weeks of qualifiers, and then I think we have last chance qualifiers as well. I think that we can throw the schedule up on the screen so that we can see kind of where the LSS is going from here. But 2 more weeks of qualifiers. We will have last chance qualifiers, and then we'll get into the regular season play. Like Trifolds was mentioning, it is round robin best of 3s until playoffs, and it's, well, best of 3 in playoffs as well. And then the finals will be in best of 5. So it's really exciting. We can't wait to get into regular season play with season 2, but these qualifiers are so hype, and we know that you guys can come in and show us what you've got. And if you didn't prove it today, you can prove it next week. So don't forget to come back. Check us out on YouTube. We have all of our LSS coverage on there. Last videos, interviews, things like that, full gameplay. 1Life2Play.com/LSS. You will show all of the rules, our guidebook for our rec league, just in general, our 1Life2Play rule book. So check that out as well. Thank you guys for coming to watch, and we'll see you next week for week 3 qualifiers.
Here comes the 1v3, but unfortunately not able to find the mark. But Aeliora's double buff transfer complete.
And this is a Bloodthirster rush.
Oh, but here comes Lucent. Gets the kill onto Lulu. These double buffs are not going anywhere. They want to, they're going everywhere.
This Fiesta style game, oh my god.
Oh, and here comes Big with the Crowstorm onto the Renekton here. But he's under the dirt, forces the Dominus. He's running for his life. And Big is just taunting him. But the Blade of the Ruin King comes through, stun coming as well. Oh, he's forcing the stopwatch. The Zhonya's. And he's still chasing down him. Here comes the silence. Troy 1 popping the ghost, running straight for chicken delivery. He's tanky, man. He doesn't care that there's a tower there. He flashes forward, goes for the pull, but unable to find the mark. Chicken delivery is going to be able to get out.
That's well played by Chicken Delivery there, and maybe an overstep to try to flash that for Troy when the Renekton, what's it called? Slash and dash? Reaping something? The caster's always calling when I
Slice and dice.
Slice and dice.
Slice and dice.
He still had the slice, so you can't flash on him. If he's quick enough, he will avoid it.
Right.
But Miami just crow-storming on cooldown and invading jungle, finding looks. Lucent on Quinn, loves this Fiesta-style game.
And Blitzcrank just loves to pull whoever he wants this game. Everyone is a good target for him to pull. And here comes Lucent going for an engage onto Caitlyn. So much damage from the lethality, but here comes the Wild Growth from Lulu. Blown up by Flare Pie and Laser King here. Big damage going down onto the Quinn, thinking she could really blow her up, but unfortunately she can't.
Another disrespectful look by Miami University without setup.
Oh, but here comes the flash from Cleave. He looks for an engage. And here comes the Galio ultimate. Again, like you said, another disrespectful engage from Miami here.
And they could have been getting Infernal this whole time. So a little bit of relaxing and maybe funsies from Miami.
Definitely looks like a solo queue game at this point.
Definitely does. Which is great for Quinn if she's not 1v3.
Oh, is Mayama Big D going to go for another one of those Crow Storms?
Is Mayama Big D going to go for a crow storm? Keck, just watch. He's doing it to Dragon.
Crow Storms the Dragon.
He's just crow storming everything that looks at him wrong.
Oh my gosh.
He's getting his reps in, that's
but
for sure.